Alright, can you hear me now? Alright, welcome to the stream, guys. It's your boy Dwamaloth, or J-Mill, whatever you want to call me by. But it's been a crazy week and a half. Been streaming literally every day, about 4 hours to 3 hours, give or take, up to 5. Some of them are longer than others, but I've been usually just playing my older streams, run the end of the streams, extend some time. Nothing too crazy. I just gotta say the channel growth though, it may look small now, but it really does show at the moment. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's jumping along on board and getting onto it. And I sound like a man who's getting his hopes up too soon, but it's not really hopes. It's more like we're on a grind mindset, and the grind is showing. And let's keep the grind up and see where it goes. And I appreciate everybody who's been sticking with me so far. So, a few things I got to do real quick. There's a few other simple Twitch settings, but you guys see my little YouTube screen. I'm gonna pause that. But it's been a crazy few days besides just gaming, you know what I mean, guys? If you don't know, I work. I'm a I'm an alignment tech. I don't want to say the company exactly, but I'm wearing a shirt of one of the older companies I worked for. And in my opinion, I wish I can have high regards for the place. You know what I mean? Like, don't you, like, you wish you can truly say, "Hey, I'm proud of the place I work at," and it's like, it's a meh, you know. It could be better, as all things can be, but you know what I mean, guys. It's just what it is. Sorry, I just have to fix something real quick too. Oh, I have a high bit rate. Let me see what I can do about that. There it is. Okay. Go ahead. Close that out. See how the live stream is looking. Hopefully that just didn't fuck my whole bit rate. But hopefully you guys can hear me better when I'm actually talking straight into the mic. Yeah, I'm good. Blank space. Maybe that blank space is plain blank. Actually talking straight into the mic. Yeah, I'm good. Blank space. Maybe that blank space is plain blank. Well, welcome to the chat. No, welcome to the chat. Let's see. I gotta get all this crazy shit loaded. Now it's echoing. I gotta turn that shit down. Alright. Let's see. What was that one show? I can look at that. I'll click on a mechanic one. You bastard.
We're back with more questionable
Jesus
car repair hacks.
Christ. Alright. I always love seeing this shit. But if you guys haven't watched this channel, it's always growing every day. I suggest you invest and take a look yourself, because it is fucking good. I know most people out there aren't mechanically inclined to do that kind of stuff, but I just gotta say, get out there and learn how to do it, because you only have one life, brother. Maybe you don't, but who knows what you really want to do. It's always good to know how to fix something, no matter what fucked up situation you're in. Let's see. All right. Fix that.
First clip.
First clip.
Bottle jack. Got a bottle jack
What?
on a wrench.
Whoa, with the wrench. I mean, you know, getting the drive shaft bolt out.
Dude, you can see that wrench about to fucking
I get
snap.
that.
That's called leverage.
I'm not gonna lie, that's kind
Pretty
of
good.
smart.
On that one, you could tell it's
Yeah, but I go.
corroded,
Yeah.
rusty. I think that's the main problem on that one.
I guess as long as you make sure
Shit.
that it's really on there and there's no chance of it like stripping it as you're going up. I don't see this being like a bad hack.
There's been a lot of videos online of people disconnecting their drive shafts. Why is it such a dangerous thing to do?
If he loosens it up and it comes off, and if it's not, there's nothing holding it, that bad boy's just gonna roll off, and then
The whole truck's just gonna...
yeah.
He's also using a drill to turn...
Soft hands. Very well manicured.
Yeah.
All right, Stephanie, do you think this is a legit hack or whack?
I think this is a legit hack.
That's a hack. It's a hack.
Let's check out our next hack here.
Here's a little mechanic hack.
Okay, that's what we're here for.
You have impact sockets.
Me?
They're a little tough to read.
Yeah.
Are.
I like his accent.
What you need
me
to do is get yourself
Some good
a
stuff's
pen.
about to happen.
Apply this very liberally.
I've seen this
All the
before.
little grooves.
I'll be honest with you guys.
Then you gotta let it sit in your
That
pipe.
shit
Now get
is
yourself some
the
big
most
towel.
annoying fucking shit ever. Is when you're in a shop and look, you got to be particular about your tools. There's people who are more particular than I am about it, but there's people who are less than I am, and I think there's a lot more people like me about it. Sometimes you set your socket down in your certain bay area and you just want to leave it there, but you got one motherfucker who has the same kind of sockets, and all of a sudden you can't find all your 10 millimeters, you can't find all your 13/16ths, you can't find your flip sockets. But like, oh, this motherfucker all of a sudden got two in his toolbox, and you can't tell the difference between what's yours and his. Dude, mark your shit. It's so easy if you just mark your shit. And like I've almost lost like $600 fucking dollars worth of tools, man. Like on a regular basis, $1,000 worth of tools, just because like motherfuckers think, oh no, that's my tool. Like, nah, dog. Like, I marked my shit with the Dremel.
Dude, that's sick.
It will look like that.
That looks pretty cool.
I love that.
But it's new. It's new. If it was older, I believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it was already worn out, you know, like imagine you have like, well, I mean, your sandpaper hands, and you're holding that. It's gonna burn out even the engravement.
No, this is awesome. And
Sorry, I had to
feel
check the audio.
All tools should be doing this from the factory anyway.
I think the reason why they don't is just because after like over the years and stuff, wear and tear, they just fades. But this is very, very nice to keep it really stylish and cute.
Public service announcement. We thought that we would try this hack on this episode.
I get to do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, guys, I get to.
Got a
Arts and craft here.
silver paint pen.
I'm not gonna lie, I've used
I
this
want to
before.
see the
I've done
juicy.
Right here.
Oh,
You can
the-
keep your eye on it the whole time. You
I
can
don't
watch
trust
the
this
paint
shit.
dry.
Next clip.
Got here. Oh.
I'm not gonna lie, I've used this before. I've done that before.
So instead of draining the oil, someone's up top with the shop vac, keeps it all suctioned in there.
As long as the shop vac is strong enough,
Yeah.
for the most part, your oil just Dancing up there.
That's dope.
Wow.
So you don't have to change the fluid. You just change
Yeah, that's tight. That's tight.
whatever that sensor was.
That's probably your oil.
I'll try that
level
on
sensor.
camera.
But how
If
does
I
the
get a chance.
vacuum keep,
Look, I
keep
got a
from
shot back.
sucking oil out?
Now
That's
you guys need a scientist.
that's the shit right there. Exactly what I'm worried about right there.
Time to shine, buddy.
See how it's all bubbling? That's because the oil is viscous, but it's not so viscous that air bubbles can't start being sucked through it. So it's like take a straw and put some water in it and suck up on the straw, and all the water will stay inside the straw, but you'll get air bubbles going up through it too.
Okay. So there's not a perfect seal up top, so it's not just gonna suck it all out. It's so sick. It's just staying in there. Look at that. This is something you figure out after working on this one sensor a lot.
That vacuum though. Who's paying the vacuum?
Vacuum's doing
Yeah, I
all-
had a bad time with the sensor. I was so stupid. I forgot. Oh yeah, I gotta change an oil pressure sensor in my dad's driveway, and I'm just gonna go ahead and take this wrench and put my face right underneath it, and I fucking got my entire face coated in oil because of a fucking oil pressure sensor, and it's so fucking stupid, bro. Like anything that has oil in the name, just be ready for oil to get fucking everywhere if you're gonna replace the part yourself. And coming from someone who constantly replaces these fucking parts, I just didn't even think about it. And I'm not even that fucking deep into it. It's just like, bro, there's no better lesson than learning the lesson yourself and in pain. Nothing teaches you better than oil in your fucking eyes.
the work.
Would you rate this a legit hack or whack?
Super legit. That's legit.
It is a legit hack.
If you want to see us try this hack in different applications, let us know down in the comments.
This next clip features another hack to keep your hands clean when changing an oil filter. Let's see if it's better than that last one.
Tech tip of the day. If you're draining an oil filter,
I feel like I've seen
get
this
a
one.
punch and a hammer, punch the bottom of it, make a hole. As you can see here, nice and clean. You don't get your hands dirty. I like using this method so I won't get dirty.
Nice hands.
Honestly,
Nice
that's
soft
not bad.
hands.
Because sometimes you're stabbing holes in things anyway.
Yeah.
You're doing too much.
It's an extra step. I mean, I get it. I understand. But
Yeah.
is it really that necessary?
I got fucking
Sometimes it's
9 other
like,
oil changes
just
to
get in
fucking do,
there,
dog.
Take it off, you know?
Get the
But
fuck out of my way.
sometimes it's like, let's just say it's hot oil. The customer just came in, you didn't cool it down. That's pretty tight because you don't want that hot oil in your hands.
Don't be a
So
pussy.
I understand that. But I mean,
I have burn marks on my
if
hands
it's
still.
been chilling there, you're just doing it for fun at that point.
Honestly, you
'cause, I mean,
should
just
chill it
knock
out.
Like me, I'm
You want
that
your
guy
engine to
be
be
like,
warm when
just-
you.
If you
You want your engine to be warm like when you're changing your oil and shit. You want it to be like at like a lower temperature. Like not lower, but you don't want to be at the highest temperature, but you don't want your fucking shit to be cold, dude. You want all the oil to come out of your engine. So he's right. You don't want it to be fucking scalding hot when you're changing the oil. Even if you can take the burn.
Was
But maybe
if you have a
hotter it
tough
is,
oil
actually
filter that you
more
can't
viscous. Like
get
not viscous,
off,
but
Yeah.
that would
easier
make
will
sense,
flow
but
out. So I guess the hotter it is, I thought they could really would
Screw up, guy.
kill you.
Yeah, man.
Put your
But
big
damn,
boy
it does get fucking hot. Remember, that is an engine.
Kind of mean, huh?
No one's like, I actually really like this hack. I just didn't want to say.
Whoa, okay.
Oh, I love tire shit.
Out
This
of the
thing.
way before you try to beat it, but that.
Legit hack.
Whack.
Get it out of here. See that next clip.
All right, we got a DB to talk.
Yeah, that's nice.
Wow, that was smooth.
He's a
That
fucking
was
torch,
smooth.
bro.
You're right. That was sexy.
That's hard as fuck.
Wow.
That's hard as
You
shit,
clear
bro.
out all that dirt and get stuff out of the way before you try to beat it, but that tire is most of the way off.
That's a manly man right there.
Whoa, okay. Never seen.
You've never seen
No,
that?
I've never seen the tire be that far off or like.
That's a little wicked, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy that it worked.
Oh, that was a full-on stick.
That's a real man right there.
We did this a couple years ago when we were building our Tacomas, putting the tires on our wheels there. Brake clean, bunch of that in there, light it up. It like, you know, science happens and fills the tire, and then you do have to keep filling the tire with air.
Yeah.
That'll only seat the bead onto the rim. You do have to continue filling it with air because of the flame, there's no air in there anymore. So
Oh, he already has air.
Pumping
Yards
Damn,
of air,
this was
dude.
good. This was good. Props to you.
Yeah.
You
He's
have to be
making it
careful
work.
with a lot of things. You have to be careful with your surroundings. Make sure that nothing around is going to catch on fire. You have to be careful of yourself.
Next clip.
First of all, I don't think that's what you think it. Whack?
Ness.
Don't have a hydroponic hydroponic. First of all, I don't think that's what you think it
Hydraulic
means.
press.
Pretty sure that's for growing herbs and spices in your home. Hydroponics.
Alright, so they're using the press to push in some bushings.
I don't like that.
Why not?
I feel like people are gonna see this and now they're gonna be like, oh my god, I could do that. And then their bushings are gonna be
Yeah.
effed.
Turns out car jacks are good presses.
Yeah. Hopefully you got it in a good spot, because imagine you get it like by the radiator support and it caves up, and then you have a hole in the radiator, and then everything sucks. Then
Yeah,
you're
I can see a lot of
That
people not
seems
know
like
what
it's
they're
pretty
doing.
centered,
Fucking
but
some
what if
shit
you got
up.
a wishbone link and it's off center or a guide
I don't know, it's something I
link,
already know. I
then,
use
you
Vices
gotta
for this very
hold it
reason.
while also jacking it up, and it just
One of the reasons people don't like doing bushings is because they have to be pressed on and out. So it's like, why do they need that?
Because it needs rubber, so it won't be like metal to metal. It won't be that stiff.
There are joints that move, like your elbows and shit. Yeah, exactly.
for a quick little beep boop.
Yeah,
I think it's
Worked pretty
good.
dang well, looks
Yeah.
like. So would you say this is a legit hack, or would you say it's pretty whack?
It's a legit hack, but dangerous, because
Right.
could have gone a little higher.
Anything could have moved in
Yeah.
that situation, it would have been much worse. I mean, in the right hands, it's a legit hack.
Yeah,
But maybe don't try it on your first time ever working with bushing.
that way.
And that's
Facts.
what's cool about these VG engines. They were super overbuilt.
Hey, do you think the turbo is the adrenaline gland of the car?
Engine is the heart, oil is the blood.
Are the drive shafts the legs or is it the axles?
It's the axles! But I'm willing to admit the bumper is the butt if you admit that the CV joint is the knee.
Hey, just so you know, the meeting was canceled.
Amazing.
The tailpipe is the butthole.
Anyway, during the late 90s, Nissan, along with every
Oh, there's a
Right, so
lot.
it looks like we got a big old breaker bar torque wrench in a truck being used as leverage. It's a sick
Bruh,
truck,
oh
though.
my
Yeah,
god.
that's sick. Hey, on that bad boy. Using the toolbox too. This is definitely Australia.
Oh no.
Oh.
Wow.
I hate that, dude.
That's pretty ingenious, though. But dude, I would I don't want
You're
the
just
bar coming
destroying
towards me
your
and if it
fucking
lets
torque.
Go, that thing's flying
Like,
at me.
it's a
Yeah.
breaker bar, I
On the other
guess, but
side,
a
filling
torque
on the other
wrench?
side.
Imagine it snaps. It snaps and slaps you right in the face.
That's a lot of
Which we've
money.
done on Donut.
Also, why would you use a torque wrench to loosen something? Is that? I know a lot of people frown upon that.
Facts.
But like, is it really going to damage it?
It might snap the little teeth on it. Like it's
No,
not
the
meant for
little
that.
teeth. No,
It's
bro,
meant
that
just to serve
shit
you,
will
like, you get to
fucking
a certain
destroy
point.
your torque
That's a
wrench,
lot
bro.
of pressure, just holding it. But then again, it depends what kind of torque wrench it is.
Exactly.
Like, what's the pounds they'll take.
If a bolt's that fucking hard, you should probably impact it. But look at where they're at. They probably don't have an impact.
I'll do that all day.
Legit hack?
Super legit hack.
It's pretty legit that they pulled it off, but also anybody watching this, do not do it. You'll hurt yourself.
No, I'm gonna do it.
Next clip.
Auto shop secret reviled. Again, another typo.
Look, we're mechanics, not fucking artisans.
That's tight. That's tight.
Dude, that's
I need to rewatch that.
Reviled. Again, another typo. Oh.
That's tight. That's tight.
It's like more steps,
dude,
though.
that's kind of sick. And that's torque, too. It's like a torque wrench.
No, truly
Oh, it's
any
a
bolt,
torque
any
wrench,
nut
though.
that you
Okay, hold
can't
on.
fit a socket onto and you need to use a wrench, it's kind of because if
Actually,
there's
I got a
torque
tool
spokes for it and
just
you're
for
trying to
that.
do things right for once and you're trying to torque things, this is a super cool doohickey. I don't know what that is, but I want one. Even just extensions, depending on the size of the extension, will throw off how accurate your torque spec is. So I truly wonder how accurate that is. Torque specs.
M18!
That's
M18 gang!
What do you think? Whack or legit?
I think it's cool.
Legit.
Legitness.
Hack. Alright, we know you guys love to lower your cars, so maybe this next hack will keep
I
your
do not.
fenders safe. Let's find out.
I drive a Honda.
Hell yeah. So we got, like a carb spring?
Hold on a minute. I
Walnuts
see
in
what
there.
he's cooking.
Oh wow, that's a lot of flush camera going on, and it moves itself.
What?
Hold on. Let him cook.
I'm not mad about that. That's pretty ingenious.
I don't even like lowered cars. That actually kind of works, though.
Sort
That
brain
makes some more
power going
sense.
on in
I
these
like
videos
actually.
today is off the charts.
It really is.
These fucking
There's a
lifted
whole
trucks
level
need
of
that kind of shit,
self-financing
bro.
going on here.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's tight because everything that's so tight, even though you roll your fenders to try to get that super flush fitment, like the brackets that hold right here, like the clips and the lights, once you hit it, they start like breaking over and over and over. So whatever he did here is giving flex, so let's like the fender move around, so it doesn't put tension on the bumper clips and the headlights. Because sometimes you'll see some cars that the headlights come off because the clips break off because that fender's like putting pressure on it, like God.
It's all fun and games until that spring and just shoots out.
Yeah, that's true.
That's actually a tight hack.
I think that's a very sick hack, as a matter of fact.
Next clip.
How to properly clean threads.
Properly clean the threads. You got a wire strip. Oh, wow.
What?
I love this guy. He's so funny.
Same kind there.
No
I saw
way.
this on my TikTok For You page.
Put it in there.
What? No way. That's like perfectly clean, and that's gonna run straight on that.
Me and her got the same vibe with that dude. No way.
The way he talks.
Yeah, he's my favorite part of the video.
That's I've used that hack before, so.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, it works. It works. He has good
I gotta
hands,
show
nice
Mike that
hands.
one.
I give him props. Looking like a little Brad Pitt right there.
Depending on which bolt it is and whatnot, one, you may just not have a exact same bolt available, same head size, same thread pitch, and same length. You're not just gonna go to Home Depot and find them. I clean threads off of like old bolts and reuse them a lot, to be honest.
I mean, I feel bad for that tool though. The other one that he's using, he could make like it out of that.
There is a chance that you the threads.
Yeah, I feel like there is a better tool for that in this situation, but like a bullshit situation, you know, your own tools, your own garage, do what you want.
Thread cleaner or like a tap and die set. That'd be.
I'm just joking. You guys are fucking crazy.
Just a rusty thread that doesn't need to be like properly cleaned. Just throw like a wire brush on a drill, just real quick.
There you go.
Good to go.
This is a really crazy hack. You know what's even crazier is just how crusty that dude's wire stripper was. Verified hack?
Oh yeah.
This hack is all right if, like I said, you're at home. This is your personal thing, and you don't love
God
your
dang it, why
wire.
did me here really?
So far, everything's been a pretty good hack. TikTok might be winning today.
You guys are getting better. There's nothing wrong with going to YouTube.
We're disagreeing,
and
now we
recapping
agree.
Whatever you're supposed to do. Before it was shined upon like, oh, you're
Pythons. He has a literal python, I think.
Look how f***ing strong he is.
Come on, bro. Oh my goodness, dude.
The right tool for the job.
Let's see what it is.
Oh,
Strong
my
motherfucker.
goodness, dude. That dude's yoked. Look at
What
that
a
dude.
strong man.
Look at that dude's arms.
Oh my god.
He's got pythons. He has a literal python, I think.
Look how f***ing strong he is.
Come on, bro. Whoa.
I love this dude.
Don't shoot me no mother fans. I won't pick it up.
This guy is the hack. No one else should ever try this at home. Transmissions are so heavy.
That's so crazy.
Do not do this unless
Come on.
you're this
Okay.
man.
Now the problem is, like you were just saying, well, the dude did it in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Why can't you?
Because I'm not swollen like that, my dude.
He's got
See that
20
fool's
years.
arms.
He's got 20 years of going to the gym in those biceps. Would you say getting big is gonna help you around the shop?
Don't forget to check out their guys' videos because they're actually really funny. Let's see. Let's see here. Holy crap. Ooh. Let's see. Like crazy shit happened today. One of my coworkers almost had a fucking car fall on him because he's lifting on one of those flat racks, and I was like chilling, putting a tire back on a car, and all I hear is boom, and we just see like a truck shaking a little bit, and thank God, like a flat rack, it only lifts it up like by a foot, those alignment racks, but so it landed on the rack itself. But man, he was just like, I'm okay. Like, no fucking big deal. Not even shook. A true country boy. True Florida boy. But now he's a grown man now. He's a Florida man at that fucking point. Because, dude, that... when these cars fucking shake a little bit and they fall a little bit, bro, I'm a little shook for a minute. There's no fucking doubt about that. Whew. Let's see. Anyways, let's talk about Dark Souls 2 a little bit. Since that's probably what's gonna be uploaded on YouTube. But that game is definitely a dying game, unfortunately. But you're still able to PvP. All you gotta do is play at that right level area in that game, and you'll end up being there. You know what I mean? Just gotta know how to play with the mechanics, get those items, and just like Elden Ring. That game is way smaller, and if you can remember Elden Ring, you can get that game down pretty easily. But damn, that game had a learning curve back when we first played it. I made so many fucking characters, and I really enjoyed that game. And it sucks it got so much hate because I was not a true Souls player. I played Dark Souls 2 first, and I don't know, let people consider me not wanting to be playing Souls like as an OG. I'm like, nah, dog. I fucked with Dark Souls 2, and it made me only play most of the Souls games mainly for PvP. I love the PvP in these games. It's some of my favorite aspects to these games, and it's what makes me come back the most. What makes most players that actually come back to it, is what I feel like, is for that. But I could be absolutely fucking wrong. There are Discords out there where you can like join PvP servers. There was a Return to Drang Lake event. It's they have events all the time. It's the it's like the Firekeeper, the Firelink hub or something like that. Yeah, that's what it is. It's the Firelink hub. It's like something like that for Discord, and you know, they always drop little links and stuff for what's going on, and I'm just kind of bamboozled that that's even a thing. Sorry, I gotta stretch a little bit. It's been a long fucking day. See, I used to be a big fan of Moist Critical, but I never watch them anymore. It just felt repetitive. I don't care if I get, what do you call it, silence for a second. They say free. Lethal Needle. MF Doom. I just want to hear this part real quick. Just in a moment though, y'all. You're gonna hear me echo for just a second. Alright, so that sounds right. You guys are probably gonna think I'm really obnoxious for this. 1, 2. Mad lib with this, I feel like I'm gone and gone to sift through that darkness. Life that I cannot make a difference. Feel like I can't repent. This August comes feeling like it's gone. Fall so soon, but you're feeling like you run from nothing. But you're feeling like you want everything that you bring up so blunt. About what you want. Feel like I can't place up the trust. Place up the trust. Place up the luck. Play out your cards. Play out your bars. Play out your bars. Play out your stars. Take me, I'm back. Feel like I'm mod. Feel like I'm mauled. Feel like I'm God. Feel like I'm lost. Feel like I'm sauce. I can't take it back when I feel like I just dig it and track. I feel like my life is gone. I know when I know my soul is woven fold. I can't fold my cards. I know I'm told what I mean now, but I feel so obscene when I don't know my dream. I am chasing for this thing when I'm going for anything masqueraded with the mirror reflecting this bigger picture. Feeling like I don't know how I'm gonna fix it, and I fix it in vision. I'm feeling like I'm ever sick, and I'm making up my difference when I am feeling like I'm in it. I'm never in it to win it. I'm feeling like I am bigger. I'm never bigger. I pull up the trigger. I feeling like I dig it. Can I dig it? Feeling like I'm just hidden. I never knew my wisdom, so I could not be so gifted. I'm a regular man, feeling like I cannot even understand what I demand. I'm feeling like a runaway, and I do not know my plan. I will not begin. Feeling like I'm playing my life a sin. I'm feeling like a grin. I do not know within. What did I want? What did I do? What did I show? What did I mean? What did I woe? What did I grow? What did I seek? What I pursue? What do I know? Feeling like I wanna just take everything I wanna learn, but I know it's my name. I cannot even regain. I'm feeling like I'm insane. I cannot even change when I'm only educating my brain. Feeling like I'm only ever fucking deranged. I cannot even grow up, so I am feeling young again when I do not even live up. I'm feeling like I am losing friends, burning bridges, and feeling like it is the fucking end. I cannot live it through it. I'm feeling like I am fluid, feeling like I am druid, feeling like I am nuisance. I cannot even rue it. Now I'm just knowing difference, feeling like I am living through thing I just call a vision. Yo, shit, I had a fucking go on that one. Probably wasn't the best, but definitely not the best, of course. But good little first warm up. I don't even care if I get in trouble for this. All right, they say free. I'm not trying to make any money. I don't even want donations or anything like that. To be completely frank. I don't even have a card link. Shouldn't. I remember doing this one a few times. I actually remember this beat. Make it a little bit more comfortable. What it. Like I'm gone, I do not know I am wrong. When I'm feeling like I'm hidden and feeling like I am chasing the song, I cannot find my wrongs. When I'm feeling like I'm just chasing the hit of a bong, I cannot take a dong. And I'm feeling like I'm living through gifting and feeling sick, and I'm feeling like I am looking for wisdom. I'm feeling different, I cannot get indifferent when I am feeling like my business is ever growing. When I am knowing I am a nuisance, I cannot even listen, so I know I do not listen. I'm feeling forgiven, feeling unforgiven when I am sick, and I cannot even make a bigger decision. I'm feeling like I'm hidden and feeling gifted. I bet a bigger wisdom, I bet at the bigger wisdom. When you're feeling like I won and I didn't win. If I'm feeling like I want a gun, put it to my head. Feeling like I'm dead, do not regret. Feeling like I didn't make a difference, I'm upset and I wanna live up. Can I even chase it? Feeling like I'm naked, never forsaken. I'm feeling like I'm ever jaded, ever vulnerable. Feeling like you know I'm going. If you know I wanna fucking take it like I'm no one knows. If I do not take a noise, if you calling to your voice. Feeling like you want a noise, take it with a little choice. Take it little Royce. If you know your little Royce and taking money like you wanna, acting like a little boy. Motherfucker wanna make a choice, go ahead and make your noise. Feeling like I'm gonna make a toy, take your toys, play your games. Feeling like I want a brain, feeling like I'm gonna do it. Like I'm only drain your gain, drain your brain. Feeling like I wanna say it like I'm Super Saiyan. Now you know I go again. If I'm feeling like I'm only living through ever death, I'm feeling like I only regret it, like I am going through my head. I cannot just feel what my life did. I cannot reveal. Feel like I'm sick, don't know the deal. Feel like I'm gone, do not know the real. I can't direct this shit. I can't commit when I know how to spit. Feel like I'm gone, know I'm the rift. Feel like you lived, you cannot get the gift. I don't know why you so gone. I feel like I'm wrong, I don't know the song. Motherfuckers just can't take the past. I'm out of breath. I am gassed, feeling like I cannot surpass. I'm feeling like I'm living up and didn't know I will last. As like only growing up, now I cannot surpass. Feeling my gift and feeling like I cannot just last. I won't not laugh at your fucking face. I feel like regret I cannot change. I know my name can't grow up same, but then you feel like I give you change. We will live up, give out the gifts. We feel like we pursued out the shit. I can't feel like you knew what I did, but then you knew that I grew up and shit. Nah bro, feeling like you knew that I can't change things, but you know pursuit. You feel like these things won't make you grow, but then you know you grew. You know you do, you know what you do when you feel like you pursue the nuisance reduce, and you can't reduce the demon in you, so you pray to him and he gives you truth. You can't understand what I mean, and I'm making decisions, feeling like I'm on a rotted, but then I'm only ever hidden. I'm feeling like I'm getting never just ever ridden. They call me Riddler, but then I'm just have a question. I'm feeling like I am messing with motherfuckers, the brains, and they cannot even understand it. What do I just change if I wanna live up and never fucking regain? No, I can't regain all these the same. Feel like to blame, feel life to blame, feel life the same, feel life to change, feel life to gain, feel life the same, feel life the game, feel life to love, feel life above, feel life to shove, push out to shove, not be so rough. Feel like I'm loved, feel like I'm stuffed, feel like you want everything but blunts. I can't not wanna be an addict. I know I just got a habit, I cannot describe it when I do not know the magic. Riding the dragon is not a way to get the passion. You know you just gotta go through it, you cannot even bag it. You gotta just not bag it and never knew you just had it. You gotta run away and find a different decision. You knew the magic. I'm gonna pause right there for a second. So it's not just talking, just supplying the entertainment is one of the values I want to bring. I love music, but I just don't have all the gear to bring the true quality, you know? And I just wish I can get my voice out there enough to just find someone to help me get that quality out there right. I don't want to just go to any jank studio that just, oh, let's auto-tune it and make it go. Let's give you $50 in the studio, let's go. I want true quality. And this is the best I can give, at least what I can give at the moment. But I hope it's at least decent for you guys who are listening right now. And it's not, like, annoying. So, thank you for sticking by so far. I just smoke too much. I have such a troublesome time holding my breath and pacing breaths. So, I really fuck with Lethal Needle, but I know I got some other beats to the side just lately. But he's usually like the GOAT with letting people just listen to shit, not fucking with them. But yeah, you guys just give me a moment. I'm just gonna get a quick breather in. Let's try it a bit differently how I'm going with this. Not be so loud. Am I gone? Feeling like I do not even know my wrong. Am I wrong? Am I even gonna chase a song? Am I gonna chase a thing? Am I even gonna get it interesting? Am I gonna feel like I'm on a wing? Am I gonna take flight? Am I gonna do anything so different when I'm feeling like I'm lifted? I do not know I am ever hit it. Feeling like I'm ever running for something. I'm feeling like I'm nothing, and I know I'm never pushing the buttons. I'm feeling like I'm loving for difference. I'm feeling like I'm indifferent. I do not know I'm ever finding my message. I'm feeling like I'm ever hectic. I do not even regret it. I'm feeling like I am feeling elected. I'm feeling like I'm never perfected. I do not understand why I am sending this message. I'm feeling like I'm lost. I do not know I'm lost, and I lose my cost. And I'm feeling like I'm never gonna get it. Like I'm caught, now I'm caught, now I'm rot, now I'm bought, now I'm bought, now I'm sought, now I'm played, now I'm broad, now I'm broke. Now you do not know a different broad. Feeling like you didn't understand. Now you on top. Feeling like you wanna get a gift. Now you wanna rock. Now you do not understand. Now you're going for Ciroc. Now you wanna drink it and feeling so fluid. Feeling like you're different, but now you know you just loosen, and I cannot even prove it. And you do not just prove it, you dilute it. And feeling like I'm only give it to you. Now you just doing your difference. Feeling like I'm ever repenting, and feeling like I'm getting it, and feeling like I am in it. Nah. So I hit the flow wrong, and I don't know why I'm in my own wrongs and no wrongs, and I don't know scenes, and I don't know dope fiends going for the rope scene rope, and I cannot know what I cope, and I cope out feeling choked, and I don't know the hope feeling broke, and I cannot do the most spoken, never broken, raise a toast, and I feeling like I wanna run up and never do the weight, and I do not even throw away, feeling like I'm insane, I do not wanna change, feeling like I get it back, I am ever deranged, I cannot take it up, now I'm feeling like I just lay, I cannot pursue, and feeling like I am so lame, I cannot live it, feeling like I'm ever gifted, I'm feeling the difference, feeling like I'm ever sifted through all in the way, feeling like I'm ever in pain, I do not understand why I'm ever gonna just change, I cannot even elevate, feeling like I'm running for something, when I'm feeling like I'm ever dumber, I'm ever dumbing, and feeling like I know the number, I know the bigger number, when I am feeling the summer, I'm going for summer, feeling like I didn't know anything, feeling like I'm running from something that's the bigger thing, feeling like I'm living, and feeling like I am freaking out, full of differences is fucking clout, nah, and you feel so wrong, and you cannot take back broken in your motions, and you cannot know this through your ocean, way through this shit, feeling coasting, and you can't know the breeze, you feel indeed, to feel the seed, you plant the seed, imagination in your mind, feel like I don't know your kind, we so blind, losing my breath. Losing my breath, feeling the death, I'm feeling repetitive, I'm feeling ever in head, I'm feeling in my head when I'm ever gonna get regret, I'm getting regret, feeling like I didn't know bets, I'm getting the bet, losing the bet, feeling like I'm in my head when I'm didn't know regret, I'm feeling like I am full of lead, didn't know it's in my own chest, I hold the rose and I give her goals, now they do best, and then they give a bet, nah man, losing your money, you're sad, feeling like I didn't understand, you were undergrad, no I'm mad, I'm never mad, I'm feeling so rad, nah bro, that is the way we living through this bad. Kind of made some sense. It's like a lot of it just sounds like I'm speaking like about nothing, you know. It's because I'm kind of faded, but I still got a little bit of flow going on. Anybody got any ideas, like any topics we can try to rap about? I don't know. I'm just like trying to practice here. Anything like, should I step away from the mic? Should I get a little closer? Is it too close? You know. Anything helps, even if it's like, hey, you sound like shit, I want to hear it. It's okay. Help me get better. Okay. Bonafide, I'm feeling alive. Feeling like I'm the guide, I'm showing you the bigger plight. Feeling like we wanna ride, I'm gonna just ride a kite. Now we flying like a kite and show you a different life. Out of the flow, I'm feeling like a choke. Never do the most when I'm feeling like I'm gonna roast. And I roast myself, feeling like I'm raising my toast. I'm drinking shitty drinks, now I know I'll never do woe. And then I'm gonna woe myself, maybe rule my hell. Maybe going through my hell, rule myself and get myself. And I sell myself doing this little and I sell myself through this little rapid old game. You're feeling like you insane, you do not even know your name. You feeling like you gone. Oh, he got me there, didn't he? Off the beat, feeling like I'm conceited, I'm going indeed. Nah, bro, plant up the seed. Feeling like you do not even pick up the greed. You wake up to greed. Feeling like I do not achieve. I achieve. Feel like I repeat. I can't take back things that I will not need. I do not need all these things that you're breeding. I can't bring back everything that I seek. I won't give you a list. Can I even perfect it? But then you know you're gonna give me shit when I'm going through this. I cannot even play it out, so you're gonna give me a game and then I give you clout. Nah, bro, that's the way we go when we gonna woe and gonna just chase at everything but never look at our soul. As you want a bigger pyramid, so you're feeling like you're gonna just do it and make some common sense. Nah, no, you can't even take it like you were just low, bro. I cannot even let it go like you a logo when you wanna sell out. I cannot even take it out when you're going for clout. I do not understand why you made up a different route. I cannot take it back, so I'm making the sound. We gonna live it up, never gonna put it right down. Feeling like I'm only chasing out nothing but sound. Wow. It's your boy Dwamaloth on this beat, showing you the heat. Feeling like we conceded indeed. Feeling like we gonna run up the heat. Feeling like we only repeated and feeling like we conceded. I cannot even delete it. I never hella repeated. I know I'm gonna run through it. I'm feeling like I'm hella nuisance, hella annoying, and feeling like I'm gonna run them through it. Nah, no. You gotta understand the soul. You gotta understand the woe. Gotta understand control. Gotta understand the flow. Gotta understand the woes. Gotta understand the way you grow when you're gonna choose a way that you're gonna show you insane. And maybe in your brain, maybe deranged, and maybe going through these things that you gotta do it, and you gotta show you that I knew it, and you knew it when you gonna break it through it. Now you gotta make a choice and gotta break now, and you gotta see it like you only fake. Wow, I cannot take it with the shape now when you're feeling like a same sound when you're going for the same noise, same choice, same boy, same gross. And you cannot know when you make no money and you looking like broke, and you know bums don't make it out. What we gonna do when we feeling like we doing anything that we wanna fucking do? Can I blame you though when we feeling like we ever rule? Can I hesitate on everything we wanna do and we wanna live? So we gotta forgive and go through this shit when we are feeling like we commit. I cannot blame you, kid. Yeah. Ugh. Take so much breath out of you.
And now, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen.
This is one of my favorite ones. Where we at? 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 That is the cap. Feeling like I wanna be one. That's in the hat. Cannot blame me facts. Just giving you the facts. I cannot understand why you wanna run up from that. I do not understand why you wanna get fats. I do not give you fats. Give you fats. You in your hat. Feeling bad. Nah, man, we ever mad. Look around, we don't even know where the fuck we at. Nah. What the fuck did we drink? I don't understand anything. Feeling like I'm looking for my bling. Where the fuck did it go? I'm feeling like I'm looking for my ring. Oh shit, now I could not even hear my ring from my phone. I am feeling like I'm lost and alone. At least I got my bro. Where we gonna go? Feeling like we only chose in this nightmare of a place. We feeling woe. I don't wanna take the stop. I don't know where we gonna go. Do we drop or do we take left or go the right? Feel the plight when we don't know what's advice. We feel lost and we don't know what's our cause. We feel like we lost things, that's a plot. I can't take anything but your choice. We feel our noise, we feel a choice. I can't take it back. I'm feeling our track, feeling distracted. It's gone. Let's see. I gotta get like a different kind of energy going. I can go for so much longer before I get a little too tired. Let's see. It's been every day. Not X. What are the ones I always watch for type beats? Jesus. What the fuck? Oh, the symbol of peace. The Legend of Zelda level. Let's see. Let's see. Where the fuck is it? Look at these ghetto ass ones. I just can't. I am too ghetto. Yeah. Terrible. And that's why you can't just drop a clock. See, I got a few beats that I got saved, but it's like, I don't want to just fucking drop those right now. That ain't fair to me to just let that shit out. Those are decent beats. This is like such a shit setup I have right now where I can't just deliver the best. So it's like, why would I do that right now? The music quality is sound better from the beat than my own voice, and just fuck my own shit up. Let's see. Another lethal needle. Another lethal needle. Let's see. Oh, look, another lethal needle. Let's see something a little different. Come on. Give me something different. Let's see. Let's see. One that I will remember around here that just so good. There's those newer ones. Okay. Give me a second on this one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What do they want from me? I feel like I'm ghosting out. I cannot take everything that they want. Now I'm feeling like I'm only wanna live up. I'm feeling like I live up. I make a different choice. Do it now. Then I make it rejoice. I rejoice. I'm feeling like I cannot find out my poise. I stand up so tall. Feeling like I cannot break out. I feeling like I'm only gonna get it. Giving my grout. I get a grout in my mind. And I'm feeling so blind. I'm feeling so here. I'm feeling like I'm giving my grind. I'm doing a line. And then I know I'm never aligned. I cannot align it. When I am feeling like I'm so blind, I won't bounce out when I do not know my clout, and I know my route. When I'm feeling like I'm making sound, and I do not know how, I just figured it out. When I'm fucking living through it now, I do not understand the spout, and I cannot spout when I'm feeling like gone, and I know gone everything that I made wrong, and I made wrongs and two rights, and I know plights. Feeling like I can't take back advice when I'm inside, and I do insight, and I feel blind, and I don't know guides, no guides in my life. When I feel like life ain't so bright, when I know no choice ain't right, and we gonna learn for ourselves. Feeling like we going through hell in our inner mind, feeling like we gonna grind, get it out of the way when we feeling right. Now I cannot feel so right, now I know I'm in a way that I cannot get it back. Now I know I'm in my pain, now I'm feeling like I'm distracted through my little weight. Now my little weight, now my little fame, now my little game, now my little game. Now I don't wanna play, now I don't know what I wanna go through when I feel like my soul won't do anything that I rule. When I rule through you, and I cannot take back I won't pursue. I feel like you can't take back things, so you can't deduce. You paid the dues and know that I got fruit, so I bear the fruit. And what do you do? And make your choice, but only choose. I make money grind and you eat the fruit. I can't understand what you want to prove. I won't live up now, but I got the goose. I got money, bro, and you know I'm gonna live up. Feeling like I am some, I'm not really there. I am living so broke, I'm feeling like a bum, but I know I cannot just choke. I live it up like I am just gonna live up and give it. I didn't give up anything, so I'm feeling so slivered. I cannot even deliver when I am feeling so bigger. I cannot give it so bigger when I am feeling so different. I don't know what I just want. What did I want when I am ever so blunt? Give them anything that they fucking just want. Feeling like I'm here, but I know I'm a runt. Know I'm a runt and know I'll do anything that I want when I'm living through anything that is up. And I do not want to be anything that's up when I know that is down. When I'm feeling like I'm clown and I'm clown now, and I don't know when I'm deranged. I'm feeling like I'm crazy and I'm going through my pain, so I cannot even change. So I go on through the day and I'm going through tomorrow. It is always the same way. Nah, bro, you got to bring it out. When you got different routes, you got to make a different sound. Take a route, take it now, take a noise, take a poise, take a choice, take a Royce, take a noise, take a hoist, take a way, take a fame, take a vein, take a rain, take a gain, take a main, take a fame, take some fame, take a game, take a run. I don't know what to say. I'm feeling like I don't know what to do. Every day this is new to me. Feeling like I'm blue, but I know I am so green. Nah, man. Shit. That's how I'm feeling right now. Stack by stack in my head, I feel like you don't know regret. I feel like my mind ever gone. I don't know woes now, I know my song. I feel like my choice cannot repeat. I won't know why I'm concealed indeed. Hey, that is a feat indeed. Take it back now so we can't repeat. We know mirrors and we know reflections and we know lessons, so we gotta set in and we set in, reflect on ourselves. Feeling like we're hell if we don't know anything below the belt. When we living up the bar, we raise the bar. We feel like we not hard and we know we rot and we know we gone. We feel so alone, we know in the bond. Now I'm bumbling, I don't know difference, so I say and then do it again. I feel like I'm blending everything that I say. I can't wake up, I am feeling gone. I know my psalms only go with my song. I got hit hard in my head, now I'm gone. I wake up, now I'm feeling like I'm live and psalmed. And I cannot repeat everything that I say, yup indeed. Take back everything that I keep. I feel like my mind cannot repeat. I feel cloud tick-tocking in the wheat, and I weep now. I can't see the sheep follow me. I'm not shepherd, please, I won't be a wolf. I can't make this choice, you can't see my mind. I can't be your kind, I can't take your life. I can't bring you light, I get down. I can't bring you around, I can't take my life. I can't be your clown, I won't live up for change. I can't regain, I feel like my name is same. I can't be the same, I know my name. When I run up, now I don't know the game. I won't live up for what I just say. We set up and settle up what we play. I won't pray out and shout for change. I will make change, I will do today. I won't live up for pain, live up for that on pain. I feel like I'm gone, I can't just say. I won't live for the clout, I can't refate, I can't refate, I can't refute, I can't refute, I can't know my proof. I know I'm loose, know I'm gone, I know I'm gone. I know my mind is so blind when I'm psalmed. I won't. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't edit the YouTube stream. I'm trying so hard, brother. If you want to look at my Dark Souls 2 videos, I do have them. I'm just so tired. So it's been every day for like 9 days straight right now. I really do appreciate you clicking on the video. You're a really awesome guy for stopping by. And I do appreciate the comment. Everyone always helps. But drop a dislike for the bad video editing. I will make sure to edit this when the live stream is all the way uploaded. It won't let me do it for my channel thing. Maybe I could do it through a computer. And I'm gonna fix this shit. Feel like I'm gone, can't commit. We know why we just do the shit. We make sense when we going through differences. I can't live up when I go for life. I go for life, I go for change. I go for plight, go for mine. I go for kind, I go for things that we can't see. Now we go for light. Why? Yes, sir, I am stuck with the stream chat. I'm trying to see right now. I'm trying to fix it. Let's see. Oh, edit video. There we go. Let's see. Hawking. There we go. There. Now I fixed it. Thank you for acknowledging that again, because I really needed to handle that shit. Kind of liking this one. Hold on. He looking like, I can't remember. He looking like, kind of like the He-Man cartoons right here. Shadows. Well, hop in with me. As we go through the shadows, the gallows, we're feeling like we only going through hollows. I cannot even hollow through my mind, I'm feeling so wallowed. I cannot even bake it back, so I cannot even swallow. I'm dropping down, I'm feeling like it's going ever deeper. I know it's not a keeper when I can't even fucking repeat it. I'm going through things that I cannot even fucking keep up, but then I just keeping everything I wanna fucking seek, and holding everything indeed, so it's chasing me out and weighing me down indeed. I'm going through the puddle now, realize it's fucking deep. Gotta let it go, or I'm gonna drown up indeed. Oh shit, feeling like I'm ever so gone. I do not know that the darkness is gonna just come up wrong. Now the wizard man pulling his hand up in the water so deep, he pull me out. Nah, no, I'm just freed. Nah. Feeling like we in a boat. Don't know why I'm ever gonna just choke. A hand in my token though. We going fucking so far. This lake looking like more than a pond. I'm scarred. I don't know memoirs when we speak in facts. We going down so far. I don't know what tracked. I lost my track. I lost the track. I lost the facts. I lost my pack. I lost my mind. I lost my hat. I woke up in a different fucking bed, in a different fucking house. Look up in the mirror, then I know I'm full of regret. I'm not the same man that I was fucking yesterday. Indeed, I'm living a different life. I'm feeling like I planted a seed. I'm feeling like I am high as a kite. But then I see the reed, see a tree, see a portal indeed. I step through it, then I know I'm in a fucking dream. I am ever gone. I'm feeling like I am sitting here in my wrongs. Am I in hell or am I in heaven? Is this bliss? Is this the shit? Is this the way that we gonna grow through this way we commit? I cannot grow so fast. Feeling like I'm ever surpassed. I'm feeling like I'm lost now. I'm smoking grass and I'm feeling like I'm in my past. No, I'm not. No, I'm here. Am I in my future? Am I even in the present? Am I even here? Is that even a lesson? I don't even know why I'm going through this little way that I call my brain. I am fucking insane. I cannot even fucking change. I don't know how to go dark. I'm trying to think of like a sewer, right? I fell in a hole. I went in a sewer. I fell in a hole, found a bunch of gold like the Goonies, right? Kind of turned sewer like, went into a puddle, started drowning. Like the demon man from hell, right? You know what I mean? The guy with the boat, like pulled you up, puts you in the boat. And like you hand him a coin, and then you guys just keep floating off into the mist and just like lose track. And then you like wake up, and you're not even yourself. You're just someone else completely different. I don't know. I just like, it just needs to be done better. I really appreciate you stopping by, Waddle. What do we got here? Not feeling that one, unfortunately. I was feeling the other ones really hard, but I only can listen to so much Lethal Needle in a row. I love them, but man, this video is definitely getting banned on YouTube. Hey, tell me if I need to get away from the mic or I need to get close to the mic at times. You know, like, what do you tell me? Like, what sounds better? I'm gonna try an interval between them, of course. Since you're here, it'd be awesome. See, this right here, it sounds like it was gonna be really good, but it's just like it's so watered down. You know what I mean? I just kind of gotta give it a second though. But it just kind of fades away. You can even see, and then like people just kind of got bored of it because it probably repeats. Closer like this. Does that sound better? Oh, excuse me. All right, let's try closer on shade. I know this one, so let's try like close, like I'm in the studio. I don't have much foam in this. Oh shit! I hope I didn't make scramble noises now. All right, all right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Running through that, 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 running through the shade. I do not know the haze. I'm feeling like I'm delayed. I do not know my pay. I'm running for my train. Running so late, I'm running late for my train, and I'm going so fate, and then I know my fate when I go on so fate, and then I know I'm too late. It goes past my way, and I walk away, and I see this fucking babe, and she turn around and she say my fucking name. I'm like, what the fuck? How the fuck do you know my fucking name? What can I go off of that? So shit, we hung out, took another train, and we going through a different lane. See what will change, and we going through a different plan. Since I'm late, so I'm going to do something else that's so great. And we feeling like I'm only running through my ways, and I'm feeling like I'm only insane. I cannot even disdain. I'm feeling like I'm only running through my brain when I'm understanding everything I wanna fucking change. And we feel like life ain't so fucking clear. Feel like your shit ain't so near, and you will not be so clear. Indeed, I can't take back shit, so drink your beer and drink your sneer, and feel like I am gone. I can't understand why your fate's so wrong. We feel like we here with a little gong. We lit the ring and wake us up when some nah. Cannot sit here in cloud. I feel like my route so different now. Feel like you can't perfect the sound. See, now I'm getting entrapped in the Lethal Needle little loop because he's doing this. Come on, give me like something to scroll down. There we go. Absolutely not that one. What is this one? No, it was rapping Humo. 1, 2, 1, 2. Nah, I can't.
I guess the greatest advice is to forgive. I don't.
Oh, he got me
anoint it
by just writing the
with
intro.
anything. I just forgive it.
That when you forgive somebody doesn't mean you want to sit down and invite them to your table. No.
Indeed not. I just mean I'm finished with you. You done. Go away.
Kicking back and stream, I feel like I'm going through everything, and my babe only screams, and we feel like we quiet indeed. I can't take back everything in brain. I only run through my name, and I'm going away, and then I know that I'm going away. I feel like I'm ever gonna weigh everything down that I know that has ever clowned me through my way. Saying way too much, way too much. I feel like I'm going through my head. Oh shit. Alright. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let them cook, feeling like I'm shook. Didn't know I'm the rook, going straight through the board, and I know I'm stuck. Took out your queen, now I know I'm out of my luck, and I took your luck and got your mutts, and then checkmate, and then you know you don't putt. See, no sense to it. 1. Understand what we want when we find plans, and we find out what we demand, and we demand through these damn dams, and we so damned, and we not plan through things we run through, cannot fathom. Every time I feel like I ran through this shit, feel like I'm gone and I can't commit, kicking back, feeling like I'm off track through my mind, and I feel like distraction will show me my magic, my blues, my pursuit. If I cannot know my noise, my name, my fame, my plane, my plight, my night, and I cannot be so wise, feeling like I cannot delight. I feel like my life cannot just break, I cannot decide. I feel like I'm lame, I know I'm insane. I feel like I cannot change the way I feel like I'm gone, but I will break into your mind, and I feel like I cannot guide your kind. And we feel like we are here, we can't take back everything we did. We ended and we sneer, but then we find out that we appears we so close in our bunch together. Find out that we're birds of feather, pull together one of us. If we don't know what's so rough, we know what we do. Feel like we not no pursuit. We feel like we gonna know our roots, and we dig deep down and we know for food. That's food for thought. We feel like we're lost and we know a plot. We feel like I'm gone and I know I rot out of a way that I find my start. And I really saw everything I got, and I feel like I know that it's not for anything that we want, but that will catch me through that web that's caught. But the spider bite will not let me out that venom's height. Now I feel like I am gone, I know, paralyzed, and I know I'm a song. I won't take back everything I seek. I feel like I seek everything indeed. Feel like I can't repeat. I feel like my life is not pursuit. I feel like I'm loose. I know my choice. I feel like I prove. I know my voice. I know my voice. I know my weight. I know my poise. I know my shit. I know my noise. I won't rejoice. Ah, Batman. That's who I was looking for. What is that feeling? What is that thing we keep indeed in our mind that we see? And I feel like I'm not so lost. I feel like I am so caught. Feel so caught, feel so gone. I feel like I know I am wrong. Pray out and feel my gauge. I cannot know my name. I feel like I'm lost again. Nah, man, that is my way. Taken too deep in wind. Feel like you perfecting, and I cannot take in your sin. I feel like you don't know we will grin. I feel, oh God, I'm facing so far away. Right now, just freestyling and chatting. If you have any questions, we can talk. You know, I just chilling right now. And it's not just freestyle. I'm kind of like trying to make one fit together and go with it. What do we want? And we feel like we blunt. I don't know what I want. And you feel here, no man, I was there last year. And you feel like we not near. Oh man, that mountain's clear and you hiked it. That's not the fear, it ain't no race. We find grace, we find things, we just find patience, find pain that we can't regain, and lessons that we get as weapons show us what is that difference in lesson. I don't know my message, feel like I'm just sick and get it. Feel weapon and feel impression, don't know difference, I know message. I cannot just feel like I'm gone, I don't know my life. My life is not so fucking straight. I know I cannot be so sane. In brain, ingrained in change, insane in my fame, in my thing, in my way, in my thing, in my time, in my reign, in my thing. My mind and my thing and my brain feel like I just changed my way, and my patience cannot just play, contemplate with your brain and insane, and I cannot take back, I'm heinous. I say this, I play this and consider famous. Nah man, I was close to that one. Oh, like this? Souls born. Watch this. Souls born type. Let me get a spooky one. Young Brownie made one. Let's see right here. I just looked up that exact thing you just said. It's called Bonfire. Hey, ancient tree, and we going so deep. We finding darkness, and we finding the dead to breathe. 4 flames that are gonna glow. Find it to keep the power indeed to slay the stone dragons to keep. What did they need? We found the flame that showed us what is the heat. But down deep, found the cold that was blessed down that we did not just know. Needle Dark Soul, Dark One, and he grim reap all those ones and show undead ones that guide that final death, that life, that end, that time. Chaos, taken back with a loss, understand what they cannot understand, what they caused, and they lost control, and feeling like they would understand what they did not sow in. Lord Gwyn, the man, the fucking one playing. You got lightning spears, you got that. I don't know. I feel like I'm just rapping too. I don't want to do all that. Game fucked me up enough. Stone Drag. I was like, I know a lot of the lore. We're making it to the Age of Fire in this one. Damn, son, where'd you find this? Ooh, it's a Baby Keem freestyle. Hold on. I'm sorry, I don't want to kill you with this one. I'm just gonna do one of these real quick. Alright. Run it out, going with the hot though. Take it with your bit, and she want. I can't do it because it's all auto-tune. Now I fucking realize it sucks. Let's see. Oh shit, I have to go back to that. Damn it. Go back. All right. Unfortunately, Dark Souls 2. Big shame, I know. Big shame. Does this count as reacting to a video? I'm gonna guess maybe yours is Dark Souls 2. Or Demon Soul. Not Demon Soul, sorry, Bloodborne. But second favorite is definitely Elden Ring. But I just haven't played enough Bloodborne. I don't own a PlayStation 4. My dad does, and I like download it on there. I can play it occasionally, but I never got to beat it. Real quick, Wildcopter. I just got to check Kick Chat. Well, that's the one I started with. Oh, my Sekiro. Okay, I like that one a lot too. So, it's literally not even because of the hate, bro. When it first came out, everyone was playing it, bro. Everyone was playing it. Like all the Souls players were playing it. There's more players playing that one than Dark Souls 1 at one point, bro. And people forget that it was actually really popular. But everyone's like, damn, this one sucked. Dark Souls 1's way better. And like all the fucking veterans left. Then like the ones that stayed became some of the best PvP YouTubers for like Soul series. Like some of the best Dark Souls YouTubers came from Dark Souls 2, bro. It's probably the best online content comes from Dark Souls 2 in my opinion, because the online is just so fun in that one. That's my favorite part. I guess the gameplay can get a little repetitive in that one, but the online, top notch. Well, Scholar is so... I like Scholar. I thought it was a different thing because I played the other ones so much. You know what I'm saying? Scholar was definitely harder, I guess, to some people, but it was honestly how the game was supposed to be put down, in my eyes. Like, when I play it through, I'm like, yeah, I can see the different routing here a little bit. Like, they're just trying to make it different. It felt like a New Game Plus run, you know? But the whole buying a new game, it's just their way of reselling the game without having to do, like, 80 add-ons and still make money. Let's be honest, it's kind of worked out in the end for some better games. Oh, yeah. Elden Ring's way worse. Elden Ring is 10 times worse. I just, in my opinion, because I'm telling you, I beat Dark Souls 2, like, no death runs and shit, but there's points where, yeah, there's points where I don't even want to fucking go near. Like, I know, like, the Iron Keep is probably, like, one of the worst ones. And the DLCs can be really rough, but it's because of how slow paced it is. It feels like it's really fucking bad, but like if you get the mechanics down, most of those things are a good challenge for like what's to come. Like people usually try to like rush through these games and not build their character up and shit, bro. Yeah, that's where it is. That's the bad one. See, you're right there. Absolutely understandable. So the boss run backs significantly reduced when Elden Ring came out. Yeah, Memory Sir Alané. Do we say Alané or do you say alone? I say Alané. But Sir Alané, he I remember dying many times on that fucking boss run back, brother. I need some more liquid confidence. Hold on. I just spilled it all over myself like a dingus. Oh shit, look. It's like literally waterproof. Yeah, so the favorite boss in the series is definitely... Okay, so it's a rough one. I'll be honest, the bosses for... Okay, soundtrack. It's gonna go... I'll have to go back on that one. I have to listen. I can't just give that. That's like a tier list for me, buddy. I love them all. I guess I really did like the Abyss Watchers soundtrack. But like I guess the official soundtrack that I love the most came from Dark Souls 1. I think I love Dark Souls 1's music the most. It just hit different. Wow. Dark Souls 2 was dead. It's like, honestly, Dark Souls 2's music was ass. There's no music in Dark Souls 2, in my opinion. Like, barely shit. Even for the bosses. Like, you get like a kind of a boss theme song, but it's all the same, like, theme, you know? And then you got Nassandra's theme. It's really like, that game sucked with a lot of those shits. It was just more of an online game. That's why I prefer it. Because I was able to play it so long online. But my favorite boss, like meme wise, is the Smelter Demon from Dark Souls 2 because of Butthole Face. And like how, you know, like even Yorm the Giant has like that weird face and shit in Dark Souls 3. But not thinking about Yorm the Giant being those weird cool fights, yeah. But I think it's like Slave Knight Gale or the Sister Fried. Is it Sister Fried? Or what the fuck is all their names, bro? It's been so long. The dude from Let Me Solo Her, that one boss. I just play so many of them now, I just can't remember. I'm so tired. Is it Malencia? The amputee lady? At the freaking final tree? That's not. That's fucking. I'm so stupid. You gotta help me out here, bro. You leave me hanging. The katana lady. You know, everyone gets fucked up by her. They have to let me solo her to help them. This is the hardest boss in Elden Ring. That was actually one of my favorite ones. 'Cause that shit was fucking murking me. Most of the bosses on Ring I was actually able to kill, except like fucking Morgan. Yeah, Melania. That's what it was. Like Valencia? I thought Moog was bullshit. Still think he's bullshit. Even though I can kill him just fine. It's just, I still think he's bullshit. Alright, I can't keep stealing these beats. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah. Excuse me. Let's see.
Dark Souls has 22 bosses in the base game. Some of these bosses are optional or can even be avoided with the Master Key. Without the use of any glitches, you only have to kill 13 of these 23 bosses, but things get interesting with the use of glitches. Glitches bring this number down to only 3 bosses to beat the game, and there's even a speedrun around this. The least bosses speedrun kills 4 bosses because it is a prepare to die edition category. One of the skips is only possible on the remastered version, but 4 is still low. However, we are not here for least bosses, but instead flipping the bosses on their heads. I wanted to see how close I could get to defeating the bosses in reverse order. Typically the first boss is the Asylum Demon, with Gwyn being the last boss. Obviously, with the 4 lords and how open the world is, this may not be the order every player beats the game in. So, I split some of the bosses into levels. For example, the 4 lords are 1 equal level. The order I fight the 4 lords does not matter as long as I'm fighting them early. Ideally, the list would switch with Gwyn being the first boss defeated. However, there's some requirements that prevent this. I need access to the Firelink altar to be able to fight Gwyn, so either Framp or Koth.
Does the volume sound okay?
No matter which serpent is picked, the Lord Vessel is needed to be brought to the altar. There are 2 thoughts of which boss would be the first one defeated to get access to one of the servants. You can have Gargoyles be the first boss, meaning less bosses are defeated out of order. Gargoyles are such an early enemy, so I went with the second option that uses a seniority roll. If a boss is needed to be defeated early, then the later game boss should come first. This makes the first boss I face become Sif, so I can fight the 4 kings. I will go into more detail later, but this is the order I'm beating the bosses in. The run is over when I defeat the final boss, Asylum Demon. Let us start where every run begins, character creation. It is a typical start with Thief for the Master Key and Black Fire Bombs for a glitch in a bit. The rest of my creation is flavor, so I can wake up in a dingy cell. The Asylum holds the first boss of the game and is required to progress unless you use glitches. In this run, I use the boring method of killing the demon in the first encounter with fire bombs. This tells the game to have Oscar give you a big Pilgrim's Key because the boss was killed early.
I should maybe do a playthrough
this
Dark
happens
Souls
before
1.
the boss is fully considered defeated, so I quit out
definitely
reloading
can't
the
do it
world.
this stream, I'm
Now
too
Oscar
tired.
has the big Pilgrim's Key, but the Asylum Demon is still alive. I call this method boring, and there are cooler ways to leave the Asylum early, I just forgot they existed. We get the Estus Flask and big Pilgrim's Key from Oscar before leaving through the front door while Asylum Demon watches. It enjoys watching me leave it in this state as I head to Firelink. In Firelink, I go around collecting different soul items that will be useful. Once I get all these souls, I head down to the New Londo runes like most of my runs at this point. On the elevator ride, I dupe the humanities I picked up by 99. This is done by hitting A and right bumper at the same time to get the brightness menu over the inventory. I then highlight the humanities in my inventory and hit A while the brightness in the brightness menu is selected. This will bring up the use prompt of the humanity, but use item is at the top and we want to select defaults in the brightness menu. Hitting down and right on the D-pad at the same time moves the brightness menu without moving the inventory prompt. From here, defaults can be selected, which stores a quantity. We have now viewed a quantity, but after a load screen the game defaults to 0, which allows me to use 99 of an item. Duping the humanity was to increase the drop chance of the Black Knight Halberd
Hey,
from 20% to around 33%.
thanks for the
but
message,
this glitch will
Freaky
come back to
TV.
dupe souls here in a bit. After dropping down, I can use the Master Key to enter the Valley of the Drakes. I continue picking up souls as I make my way to the Drake Bridge. Slipping past the Drakes, I climb the ladder to get to the red Tearstone Ring. Might as well grab the extra damage while I'm here. I drop down, looking at where the drakes are for once, and continue on to the elevator that will take me to the Dark Root Basin. In the basin, I grab the Grass Crest shield because it is a shield I know how to parry with. Then I quit out to reset the Halberd Knight for some cheese. After loading back in, I run at the Knight, who in a brief lapse of judgment tries to stab me and falls off the cliff. I receive the Black Knight Halberd telepathically from the Knight as I continue up basin to get some more items. This soul by the Hydra is picked up, the bow is picked up for a glitch later, and the Crystal Lizard is killed with a punch and a Black Firebomb for the Twinkling Titanite it drops. This is all for the basin, so it is Andre time where I break the game. At Andre, the first thing I do is dupe the smallest soul by 99. This dupe is done exactly the same way the humanity one was done, but this time I get 19,800 souls instead of 99 humanity. With these souls, I purchased 999 wooden arrows to store the quantity of 999. Then I prompt swap arrows over to lawn swords to buy one lawn sword of a quantity of 9. Attempting to buy another lawn sword after doing this will give me a stored quantity of -8. When buying the weapon, the game subtracts the quantity held from the max quantity of the item. In this case, it is 1 minus 9, which is equal to -8. I then perform the soul dupe from earlier, but this time I target the Twinkling Titanite and want to drop it instead of using the item. When dropping an item with a negative quantity, the game subtracts a negative from the item. Subtracting a negative turns the equation into addition and gives me 8 Twinkling Titanite, so now I have 10. This is all I need to level up the Halberd to +5, but I realize I don't have enough souls. This is where me buying those arrows comes into play. Dropping the arrows, but then hitting no in the inventory.
This is so
will store
confusing.
that
So he's like
quantity
trying
of
to beat them in reverse
999
order,
for
but he
me
has to
use.
fight Sif
I then
first.
dupe every soul I have by 999, and if I have multiple of the same soul item, I drop all but one each time before duping the soul. I have to reset the stored quantity each time, but after a while I end up with a little under 5 million souls. With this mining done off camera, I upgrade the Halberd to +5 and buy the Crest of Artorias. I also bought the Weaponsmith box. I never use it. Even after this spending spree, I still have 4.7 million souls to use, so I head up to the Undead Parish bonfire to level up. Vitality is leveled to 51, Endurance to 40, Strength to 60, and Dex to 18. Strength and Dex are stat requirements to use the Halberd. Health is always nice, but the Endurance will be needed for a glitch later in the run. With the setup done, I can make my way to the first boss of the run, Sif the Great Grey Wolf.
So many souls for a second.
On my way to Sif, I equip RTSR and set up with a Titanite Demon. It takes a little bit, but I'm able to comfortably get into RTSR range. I open the door with the Crest of Artorias, sprint past the really smart AI, and make my way to Sif's boss room. The RTSR setup for Sif was just to make the fight faster. Sif likes to jump around a lot, and it's kind of annoying. I grab the Hornet Ring and trigger the fight. Sif is easily avoided, and I get only one jump back. The fight goes insanely good as I warp back to the Undead Parish. The next boss on the list are the 4 Kings, and the fastest way to get to them is to head back to Firelink.
Yeah, I still
On my
haven't
way to the
tried
shortcut
speed
elevator,
running
I
this
grab the
game. I've done
Firekeeper
Dark
soul
Souls
before
2,
heading down to Firelink.
then Elden
From
Ring, but
Firelink, I can use the
this
elevator
one
from
and
earlier to get down to the new
3
Londo
I'm
rooms.
still not used to all the
Typically,
way.
lords are locked behind a golden fog wall that only disappears once the Lord Vessel is placed. You don't need to place the Lord Vessel to fight the 4 Kings. They do not have a golden fog gate, but I needed the Covenant of Artorias ring to traverse the abyss. I could go the normal way, but I don't feel like dealing with a seal, so instead I'm going to perform seal skip. This skip is not needed, but it is faster than going the normal way. In the area where the ghosts are first encountered, I head to the right. I walk off the edge while performing a quit out. Once I see the camera start to go top down, I quit out. When done correctly, my position should be stored out of bounds below, but I need to quit out before the game kills me. The glitch is easier with fall control, but I get it first try. If you want to do this glitch yourself, use fall control. It is giga free. After loading back in, I roll off to another area, which gives me the def cam. This drop does not kill you like the last, and the quit out is just to remove the def cam. I continue further out of bounds until I get above the abyss. Once I get there, I
didn't know
drop
that's how
off and
deep
land
the
down
water
below
was.
into the abyss. I need to make sure I walk off correctly, or I won't get the damage negation from the fall because I would be out of its range. I drop the sword hilt here to help reorient myself for the second king spawn. After equipping the halberd, I make my way to the first king spawn and DPS check them. Once I see they're one hit away from death, I make sure I have enough stamina to get extra attacks in. This fight works like the Godskin duo from Elden Ring. The shared health bar can be damaged by attacking a king after they are dead. Still can't believe how many things this game copied from Elden Ring. After the first king is defeated, I run over to where the second king will spawn using that item I dropped as a reference. This king gets demolished like the first, but now I don't know where the third king spawns in. I should really learn that, but the tried and true method of spin to win always works. The third king has finally spawned in and decides to be more tricky than the first two.
So did spin to win originate from Dark Souls 1, Demon's Souls, Dark Souls 2? I can't tell which one it would be. Because there's like a spinning attack. You get like 2 attacks off. And it takes all your time. Maybe it is spin to win.
I defeated it, but unfortunately I did not set up a 3 kings kill. The third king also wasted some time, so the fourth king does not take too long to spawn in. It only takes 2 hits on this king before the 4 kings are defeated. Now a bonfire and Koth are here after the cutscene. I thought lighting the bonfire would allow me to warp to it later, but you have to rest at it. You would think this would soft lock you because you could not warp out of the abyss without the Lord Vessel. However, FromSoft thought of this and gave the bonfire the ability to warp without the Lord Vessel. I did not know this at the time, so instead I warp away without resting at it to the Undead Parish. The next boss is Onus and Anor Londo, so we're going to need to do some glitches to get to them. First is getting into Sen's Fortress without reading the 2 Bells of Awakening to open the gate. This is where Sen's Gate skip comes in. I bait this hollow down the staircase. At the 3rd pillar, I parry and repost the hollow, triggering the death cam without hitting the kill box. In this death cam state, the game stops loading in surrounding areas, but what this means for us is the gate of Sen's Fort is no longer loaded. You don't have to open the door if there is no door. I make my way down the parish and across the walkway to Sen's Fort. Once past the gates, I quit out to get out of death cam so the world starts loading in again. I load back in on the other side of the gate in Sen's Fortress. Do I really need to explain how easy Sen's Fortress is again? The snake enemies just let me run past as always. The blades are easily timed so I don't get hit and knocked off. The lightning snake is really nice today, but something overtook me. I was possessed for a bit and backstabbed the snake. I watched as it fell, but don't worry, it is still alive, I think. The scripted boulder and snake are easy as always. If you quit out, things no longer happen. I think this is how King Crimson works. Either way, I quickly get past the boulder room and make my way effortlessly outside. I drop down and grab the bonfire to make life easier, and it may seem like I am stuck in Sen's Fort now. Not really, I can get out of Sen's even with the gate still closed, but I'm going to be spending the next couple of days of this run in here. Iron Golem blocks the way to Anor Londo. I need to defeat the Golem to be able to get to Anor Londo unless I use Iron Golem skip. Iron Golem skip sucks, like taking me around 5 hours. First, I need to grab an Ultra Greatsword, and lucky for me, the merchant in Sen sells the Berserk reference. I also killed the giant that throws explosive boulders to make my life easier. Now let me try to explain this grab cancel. To put the glitch simply, I hit the Golem as it grabs me to cancel the grab. Not much is known on how this glitch works, but if I hit the Golem with a running attack from an Ultra Greatsword at the right time, canceling the grab, this can happen. I get flown out of bounds at incredible speeds to the point collision no longer exists for me. Sometimes with improper timing, you won't get flown, but the grab will get cancelled and it looks weird. This fling would be pretty useless, but FromSoft gave us a gift. They descended down from the heavens and graced us with an insanely interconnected world. On the other side of what looks like a collapsed tunnel is Anor Londo. We can see this in a map viewer with Sen's Fortress and Anor Londo loaded in together. Iron Golem's arena is level to parts of Anor Londo with collision, but it's not easy to get there. If the sun, the moon, and the stars align, I can get flung to a section of Anor Londo and loaded in. This glitch is not consistent and just incredibly cursed, but I finally got this.
Oh shit.
I did not even believe I got it when I did. I was kinda stunned for a bit. Now we may be in Anor Londo, but we are out of bounds without any way to get back in bounds. This is where a Ron Warp can save us. There are different ways to Ron Warp, and even different ways to perform the different Ron Warps. For this run, I used the 3rd version of the Force Quit Ron Warp, which will be used throughout the run. A Ron Warp is in the name, a warp that went wrong. Whenever a warp goes wrong, Dark Souls defaults to the failsafe location. Each area has its own failsafe location, but for Anor Londo, it is the very start. Where the Force Quit comes into play is after I warp with the Dark Sign, I want to force close the game at the last frames of a load screen. This is made easy with Live Split and the Alt Space method. While in the load screen, I press Alt and Space to pause the game. I keep doing and undoing the pause until I see the timer's milliseconds go up. The timer is tracking the in-game time, so once it goes up, I know the load is almost finished. I press C to force close the game before relaunching it. When loading back in, I am put at the failsafe location for Anor Londo. Now in Anor Londo, the first thing I do is rest at the Anor Londo bonfire. I don't really want to do Iron Golem skip again, and the next boss on my list is Ornstein and Smough. They are guarding Guinevere and the Lord Vessel, which will allow me to fight Gwyn. There's not too much to talk about in Anor Londo. I ride the elevator down, do parkour on the rafters, get past the Silver Knight sharpshooters, and rest at the Anor Londo interior bonfire. From here, I can easily make my way to ONS by jumping over the railing, skipping a good segment of this area. I enter the fight against ONS and get maybe a little too cocky and take so much damage from playing like an idiot. I die and have to make my way back to the fight. I don't want to talk about it. This time I play way safer in the first phase, killing Ornstein. Now I just need to defeat Super Smo. It may not be the best fight, but I get the job done and make my way to Guinevere. I receive the Lord Vessel and rest at the bonfire. This is where I found out I needed to have rested at the Abyss bonfire. Now to access the Firelink altar, I have to warp to Firelink Shrine and head all the way back to the Abyss. I performed Seal Skip again because I did not feel like going the normal way. This time, I rest at the bonfire because I am not doing this again. Now I can speak to Darkseeker Koff to bring me to the altar, making sure to select yes for its dialogue options. I am brought to the Firelink altar where I place the Lord Vessel. Gwen, the next boss in the order, is on the other side of this giant door, but Ron Warp's coming to play again. I force quit Ron Warp to the failsafe location of this area, which happens to be the start of the kiln of the first flame. Now I can face Gwen, which is easy with a parry combo. I parry Gwen to the afterlife, and here's the big issue of the run. After defeating Gwen, there are two endings. One is to link the flame by just going up to the bonfire and linking the flame. This is easy to avoid, but the second one not so much. The other ending requires you to leave Gwen's boss arena. Using a warp will not work here, as it just brings you back to Gwen's arena. A force quit Ron Warp won't work either, as leaving Gwen's arena is considered anywhere in the map of the kiln of the first flame. Dark Souls forcing you into new game after defeating the final boss is dumb. The only solution was to use an external program to warp me back to the Firelink Shrine so I can continue the run. If you don't like this, then do Iron Golem skip and then do it again. The next boss also had a problem with it, so let me go deal with them. It is time to take on Sif the Maidenless. I warp to Anor Londo and make my way into the Duke's archives. The boars are really nice for setting up RTSRs. I make my way into the archives. Up the first elevator are crystal guys I need to be careful of and a channeler that is really scary. I make my way up to the next elevator where I'm going to perform the best glitch. I send the elevator up and put my armor on to get my equip load into a certain range. Once the elevator starts to go up, I quit out. When I load back in, I lock onto this crystal fellow and roll into the pillar before rolling off the edge and quitting out. This is an elevator warp. When an elevator is in its non-default position, reloading the game while in its default position will warp you to the elevator's current location. In this case, I am warped up to an out-of-bounds section where I can perform the next glitch, a meme roll. When your equip load and remastered is greater than 25% and equal to or below 29.1%, you can just roll in the air. The rolls have to be spammed, and I need enough stamina so when I reach the bottom, the iframes of a roll negate the fall damage. Typically, meme rolls are a little precise, but this one is super free. I land down below, skipping the death to Sif and the prison sequence. This just saves time, as I can easily make my way to the Crystal Cave. Nothing too eventful happens in the cave, so let us skip to the uneventful fight of Sif. After skipping the cutscene, I line up my head with Sif's collarbone and throw a black firebomb directly behind me. This destroys his cheating crystal so I can run in and punish his upset animation. The damage is, yeah, he is dead. Like I said, uneventful. The next boss is the Bed of Chaos, and getting to this one is more eventful, don't worry. To get to the best boss in the game, I need to get past Quelaag, Ceaseless Demon, Demon Fire Sage, and Centipede Demon. The last two can be avoided by leveling up the Chaos Servant Covenant to rank 2. This will unlock a shortcut, but first to get to Quelaag's sister for the Covenant, I need to get past Quelaag. I head down to the Swamp of Blighttown and grab a useful item. Over in the corner, guarded by 2 infested barbarians, is the Great Club. This will be useful in skipping Quelaag. After getting the club, I grab the bonfire and head to Quelaag's boss fight. I enter the fight, triggering the cutscene or the glitch won't work, but it is also a nice opportunity to die to Quelaag next to the exit fog gate. My bloodstain will help guide me, and you will see why it is needed here in a bit. Now with the setup done, I can go and skip Quelaag. I climb up to Upper Blighttown towards the exit. Before getting to the top, I drop down here and jump to this pillar. I run around it and drop down to a lower section of it. This triggers the def cam, but I quit out to remove it. Loading back in, I backstep into the pillar before sprinting down and jumping. If I don't jump, the game will kill me. Now with this def cam, I walk off the edge and perform a plunging attack with the Great Club. I hit another ledge and slide off with the plunging attack landing animation. This allows me to cue a roll in midair. Each weapon type has a different plunge recovery animation, and the Great Hammer type works perfectly here. I spam the roll button to cue the roll, and when I'm about to hit the ground and die, I use the iframes of the roll to negate the fall damage. This gives me a dev cam from Upper Blytown, and some things are no longer loaded in like Quelaag's boss room. I make my way back to Quelaag's boss room, but because it is no longer loaded in, it is hard to see where I am. This is where that blood stain next to the fog gate can help me navigate. Unfortunately, this glitch is not over because quitting out in the bell room will not store my position. This means I need to get to the staircase past the bell and then quit out, but as you can see, that is a little difficult. It took me a couple of tries, but eventually I make it really far down the stairs, skipping Quelaag. Look, you can even see her from the other side of the fog gate. We are not here to gawk at Quelaag, but instead help her sister. I roll for the illusionary wall to make my way to Quelaag's sister. The abomination takes a little bit to move out of the way. While he moves, I tried to dupe humanity, but messed up the dupe. I rested at the bonfire and tried again. This time, after dropping my extra humanity, I stored 999 from the arrows. When I go to dupe the humanity, I select 90 and then dupe to have 97 humanity. I only needed 30, but might as well give more. I enter the Covenant, offer all my humanity to level it up, and make my way to the next hurdle of the run, Quelaag's brother, Ceaseless. Skipping Ceaseless is not that bad. From up here, I aim at this Dorito in the terrain and shoot an arrow. This distracts the Capra demon, who does not look down and falls to its death. To get down from here without dying, I perform another plunge fall damage cancel. I maneuver my way through the lava using safe areas to recover stamina and heal. There is a lot to this pathing, and if you are interested, I'll have a link below to a tutorial for this glitch. After carefully avoiding the lava, I make my way to the demon runes with only mild burns. The main thing that sucks about skipping Ceaseless is the bonfire and demon runes won't appear until he is defeated. This is not a problem right now, but will be later. For now, I can just make my way to the shortcut that will take me to Lost Izalith, avoiding all the lava in that area. First thing I do after opening the shortcut is kill this chaos bug for the sunlight maggot. From here, the worst boss in the game is finally up next, but Toki bombs can make the bed of chaos more enjoyable. After entering the fight, I run straight at the bed of chaos. I place my left foot into the 4th tile here. Then I position my head between these 2 branches and throw a firebomb. Once the throwing animation has started, I hold forward so my character turns while throwing it without moving. After the first bomb is thrown, I quickly set up the next lineup, positioning my head between these 2 branches on the left. I throw another firebomb. This one is thrown in the same way of waiting to hold forward so my character turns to throw the firebomb without moving. After throwing the second one, I roll into the middle and get the second cutscene to know I landed my throw. Now it is Rolling Through Branches Simulator 2024. Why did they name the simulator games a year after their initial release? Please, I need to know why they do this. I take out my frustration of not knowing this information on the Bed of Chaos so I can move on to the next boss, Nito. Nito is blocked by the hardest boss in the game, Pinwheel. Fortunately, getting past Pinwheel is really easy with a glitch we have already used. I make my way into the catacombs where I bully the Necromancer after pushing the lever to open the first door. Continuing on through the area, I drop down from here, landing down below near the Titanite demon room. I run past the demon to grab the Eyes of Death before entering the coffin. If you have an Eye of Death in your inventory and wait in the coffin for 30 seconds, you will get taken to Nito's boss room. This is to join the Covenant and does not start the boss fight, but we are now in the Tomb of the Giants, which is a different area than the catacombs. All I have to do is perform another Force Quit Ron Warp and I'll be taken to the start of the Tomb of the Giants. I equip the Sunlight Maggot and make my way to a bonfire. It is not too hard to get back here if I die, but it takes time. Might as well be safe and grab the first bonfire before making my way to Nito. I ran past every enemy and made my way to the Nito boss fight without getting hit. After baiting Nito away from the back where the giant skeletons are waiting, I get stuck in a weird angle. I get hit here and almost die, but I was able to chug my last Estus and get away. The NRDS3 player in me took over and I R1 spammed Nito to death. Nito goes down first try, but the next boss, Centipede Demon, will not go the same way. To get to Centipede Demon, I need to perform another grab cancel. It goes about the same as the last one in that it took forever, but first I need to perform Ceaseless Skip again. Then I kill all the enemies in the old demon runes that would get in my way. After they were dead, I equipped the Grasscrest shield into my right hand to attack with it. The enemy with the grab attack I want to cancel is this rock worm. I drop down and walk backwards into this corner. I have to wait for the rock worm to do its grab attack and dodge its other attacks when it does not do it. Whenever I see the grab, I attack the rock worm with the shield. Sometimes I'm too late and get grabbed. Sometimes I'm slightly too late, but the grab still gets cancelled. However, when this happens, I fall down below too far and die. Every time I died, I had to do ceaseless skip again and kill all the enemies again. This glitch sucks, but when done right, I land above the Centipede Demon's arena and can drop down. Ceaseless skip already used most of my Estus up, but once I land down below, I have to roll out of the lava. I only have 2 Estus for the fight and need to trigger it by walking up to the fog gate. The demon is loaded in, and I could have killed it with the bow. This is boring, so instead I chose the path of suffering. I equipped full Havels, which I got after dying to the rockworm at one point, and I also upgraded my Estus flask with Quelaag's sister. While we are at it, I should mention that I could have made it into the hallway that has the bonfire before this boss. This would have made the fight easier, but I did not know about this and instead just decided to pop off. Sente decided to just swing at me from range, so I spent some time dodging its attacks after losing all my health. I now can no longer make a mistake, and I needed the boss to come closer. At some point, I went screw it and took the armor off and wanted to hit the arm after it attacked.
Make some food real
For
quick.
some reason, after doing this, the demon decided to close the distance and I could attack them finally. I dodged every attack and made this fight look effortless. I honestly don't know how I managed to get away with this. For once, this was a skill occasion. This was the final hard part of the run. Now all the bosses left are easy to get to, starting with the Demon Fire Sage. I can't enter the boss fight from the back, but I can drop down from above. Dropping down from above does not activate the AI of the Fire Sage, but it can still take damage. After all I went through, I deserve a little treat. The Fire Sage is easily dispatched, leaving the next boss to be Ceaseless Discharge. I warp to Quelaag's domain and head to the Ceaseless fight. Then I cheese Ceaseless. I honestly don't even know how to fight him legit. Ceaseless goes down as well, making the next boss be, oh god, not that boss. I wanted to see what would happen if I entered his boss fight from the Tomb of the Giants. The answer was nothing. The fight was the same, and even the table I smashed respawned. Pinwheel goes down to nobody's surprise. Now it is time for some payback on Iron Golem. For this fight, I also wanted to see what would happen if I entered the boss fight from the wrong way, and nothing was also the answer. I tried to attack the golem, but it did not take damage. After activating the fight by triggering it near the fog gate, it goes exactly how you would expect. The clumsy golem is silly, maybe even goofy, and falls to its death. I'm never doing Iron Golem skip again. That sucked, like me having to go through Blighttown again to fight Quelaag. You can't enter a boss fight from the back gate, so I had to go to the front gate. Once I make my way to the fight, it is super easy. When she gives me an attack to punish, her health bar just disappears. Quelaag is defeated, leading to our previous boss of Gaping Dragon. Gaping Dragon is in the depths, which I need to defeat the Capra Demon to get the key to access. You are far enough in the video and you already know where this is going. There's an interesting out of bounds that will allow me to skip Capra and get into the depths. This glitch is not necessarily easy, but after everything else I had to do, my perspective is warped. I head into the Undead Burg, where I climb up the ladder by the Rubbish Hollows. Once the character starts to finish the climb up animation, I tap backwards. I don't want to hold it or I will fall off instead of getting on top of the ladder. Once on the ladder, I can roll off over this stone pile to an out of bounds section of the battlement. I follow it down until I fall down to the rat tunnel, where I continue on to the female undead merchant. From her, I roll off on the parts of the tower so I don't die from fall damage. Falling down from the tower, I land on the roof of the depths. I've made it to the depths and I could run warp to get back in bounds, but there's a cooler way. See that bloodstain that I have no idea how it ended up there? From the bloodstain, I want to jump from the extended part of the roof to an area down below. This area is the roof of the tunnel where the bonfire of the depths is located. From this roof, I line myself up, rolling off landing down below on the rat tunnels. I turn around and follow the tunnel down to this part. This is just below the shortcut door, and the interaction for it is large enough that I can open it. Opening the door moves me back in bounds where I can grab the bonfire before making my way to Gaping Dragon. Last time I fought Gaping Dragon, I completely forgot about the channeler, but not this time. I take care of the channeler before entering the boss fight, character development. The fight takes a little bit because of its large health pool and waiting periods because of certain attacks. After a bit, the dragon is still gaping, but they are dead. Now it is Capra time. I wanted to try something interesting with Capra and perform the out of bounds on the ladder from earlier. Then, on the rat tunnel, I went the opposite way and tried to open the door. I could not open the door, but after turning around, I saw something better. The stairs right outside Capra's boss room was right there. All I had to do was roll down below to it. I knew there were dogs right outside, so I dropped down and dealt with them one at a time. The dogs in Capra's arena can be annoying, so I equipped full Havels and tanked. Capra goes down in 2 hits as I poise for his attack. With Capra defeated, I can now go and defeat the Bell Gargoyles. This is where I decided to start setting up RTSR to one-shot the last couple of bosses. I set up on this night before making my way to the Gargoyles. After the cutscene plays, I get an opening and the first Gargoyle survives with 27 HP. So close, but it can't get away from me before the second Gargoyle comes down. This one is at half HP, so I know it will one-shot. I strafe the fire and toy with the guard before finishing it off. For once, after defeating the Gargoyles, I don't have to climb the ladder to ring the bell. Instead, I can head straight to the Taurus Demon. If the first Gargoyle almost died to 1 hit with RTSR, then Taurus will be one-shotted. I kill the 2 archers up the tower and then repeatedly throw myself off the tower. Eventually, I'm in RTSR range and can trigger the Taurus fight. I see the demon drop down and I run back to climb up the ladder. I drop down and plunge attack the demon, dealing 3,472 damage. This is almost 3 times the Taurus demon's health of 1,215. Dark Souls is amazing with an amazing final boss of Asylum Demon. I need to get to Asylum Demon first, so I egg. Once I've egged, I arrived in the Asylum, but harder. The Asylum Demon is waiting for me at the door still. I could just defeat it right now and end the run, but that would be boring. I have a better way. I go for the Asylum and make my way to the upper level where I set up RTSR of the Hollows. After entering the Fog Gate, I perform a jump attack. The attack lands on the demon, killing it before I can get the plunge attack to stop my fall, so I die. After loading back in at the bonfire, I checked and the Asylum Demon is dead. The final boss in the hardest game ever made is defeated. Now this was not all bosses, but I wanted to beat the game in reverse order, not beat all bosses in reverse order. Some of the bosses can be open to debate of when they should be defeated, and adding all bosses makes it more complex. Focusing on just the bosses needed to beat the game in someone's first casual playthrough simplifies things. Hopefully that clears things up for those who are wondering. You made it this far in the video, why not like and subscribe if you enjoyed it? Thank you for wasting your time with me.
Dark Souls 2 is universally regarded as the weakest Souls game, but most of these reasons don't seem to be specifically related to the bosses. The changes it makes to boss fights are not all that substantial, and for the most part, the bosses play very similarly to Dark Souls 1 with some improvements and steps back in respective areas. I would actually argue that Dark Souls 2 is a better game than the first, but that would mostly be down to the level design and combat, which this video is not really about. When it comes to the bosses, Dark Souls 2's lineup is much more of a mixed bag, even compared to Dark Souls 1, and it will seem like I am showcasing Dark Souls 2 at its worst some of the time. Some of Dark Souls 2's worst bosses take place in fantastic areas and vice versa. So this is not a general statement of the game's quality, but specifically focused on the bosses and the bosses alone, along with the occasional comment of the run to the boss when it warrants it. The first proper boss for many players is probably the Last Giant, but you can encounter one of Dark Souls 2's more unique bosses first in an optional encounter before the actual set battle for him. The Pursuer's moveset and attacks are mostly straightforward, horizontal and thrusting attacks, a ranged charge, and a thrust that can curse you temporarily. But what makes him unique is the title himself. The Pursuer does genuinely pursue and will be encountered multiple times through the rest of the game in innocuous and sometimes unfortunate places. He has mostly the same moveset and attacks every time, but it's always a little concerning when he does show up because it's completely unexpected. It's unfortunate that his health doesn't seem to scale enough with the players, so what was supposed to be a nemesis that constantly dogs the player throughout the journey ends up becoming a joke after the player's beefed up with weapon upgrades and levels. He's also able to be parried, a welcome change that Dark Souls 2 makes with many of its bosses, which does help to make the fight feel a little more dynamic and varied. What would be a good but nothing amazing fight is elevated a little by the unique pursuit that follows the initial fight. Then we've got the first normal type of fight that comes quite a bit later in the game than the Asylum Demon in Dark Souls 1. It's a shame that it's so simple, only really having 2 attacks, stomping and swiping. The only thing really saving it is the lore implications. The last giant is the last giant, whose colleagues can be seen dead around the map after they fought in a war before the kingdom fell. They do a thing kind of like Sif. When he reaches low health, he'll actually tear his own arm off and use it as a weapon. Like with the giant tree piercing through his chest, it's trying to be sad and tragic like Sif, but doesn't commit to it with the music or the arena or the deep backstory. Unfortunately, Dark Souls 2 does not give the greatest first impression with one of its least remarkable bosses in the whole lineup so early in the game. Dragon Rider is a pretty standard fight with some interesting level design elements that give the fight a bit of uniqueness. If you wipe out all of the enemies on this map and pull a couple of hidden switches, it will raise the outer circle of the arena and make the fight easier or harder depending on how you see it. If you fight him without raising the outer circle, it's easy to accidentally roll off, but also much easier for him to be knocked off as well. Otherwise, it's a pretty standard little duel that does its job. Very slow and telegraphed attacks, relatively low health, and huge windows for attack. It feels more like a pumped up normal enemy than a boss, really. A rematch with Ornstein solo proves that he's not nearly as threatening without his fat friend to toss you around. Regardless, it's a pretty solid fight mechanically, although I wish he had more health to make this fight a little more challenging. Attacks are really fast and have surprising range, and they even added some dark magic range spells that can catch you off guard. If he had more health and was a later game boss with an expanded moveset, then this could have been one of the best bosses in the series. As it stands, it ended up just being kind of okay. A double-sided, immense early game challenge, the Flexile Sentry was extremely tough for me on my first playthrough because of the heavily damaging long-range combos and the rising water that will eventually make it almost impossible to win without a shield. It's another DPS test to try and burn down the sentry before the water rises enough to slow down your roll, only the sentry has 2 sides, one wielding 2 maces and the other swords. The sword side is significantly more difficult and a little bullshit because there is almost no telegraph to his attacks. 1 minute, nothing. The next, you are caught up in a flurry of strikes that stun lock you into submission. The mace side also has a forward thrusting attack that is very deceptively telegraphed the first time you see it. The water rises very gradually, but if it gets to waist high, it's pretty much a game over. I like it for the timed challenge and the unique design, I just wish the moves were a little more polished. The first triple boss in the series and one of the better ones in Dark Souls 2. The Ruined Sentinels aren't very tough individually, but have movesets and weapons that are a nightmare to fight in multiples. Thankfully, the game doesn't just drop you in a pit with all 3 at once, so it allows you to fight one on his own on this little platform with a second and third spawning in later on timers. They have very wide range and knockback, which makes using a shield very challenging on this little platform. After some time, the second will spawn in and will jump up. If the first one is not dead, then it becomes near impossible to fight on the platform, and the third will follow shortly after. DPS is king. It's testing the amount of damage you can output in a certain amount of time. Once the fight moves below, you have a lot more room to maneuver, but usually 2 at once to deal with. This is pretty straightforward and fun. Just like usual, bait out attacks and sneak in damage in between. The only attack I think is unfair is this spin attack, which hits so fast consecutively that it seems impossible not to get hit if you are within range. I managed to avoid it a couple of times, but it was from frantically mangling the dodge button in pure panic and seemingly getting lucky. It's too fast to space out dodge timings. Otherwise, this is a very good fight and a solid escalation of some previous boss design. I have a feeling this is going to be the most controversial opinion in this video because I really like the Belfry Gargoyles. Everybody seems to hate this boss. They call it a lazy reskin of the gargoyles, just cynically done with 5 of them instead of 2. I couldn't disagree more. This version of the gargoyles has been smartly tweaked to be a more intense challenge than the ones from the first game, which were, let's be honest, a joke once you disengage the lock-on. These gargoyles have a way more threatening moveset of extremely fast close-range attacks and long-range sweeps from the air, but what I enjoy the most about this fight is the changes made to the health and numbers. The gargoyles in Dark Souls 1 were fairly strong individually because there was only 2 of them. These gargoyles are much weaker individually but will continuously spawn on timers, eventually stacking up to all 5 if you haven't managed to kill any. It's the same DPS check idea from the first game, only more complicated and more difficult, this one taking place later in the game. The only problems I have with the fight is that the gargoyles' movesets do not synchronize well together, and you can easily die in a flurry of close range attacks if they group up. But overall, I think the adjustments to the health and numbers are very successful. And the main boss of the area is the Lost Sinner, a mostly straightforward duel against a humanoid with a big weapon. The fight does have one unique element, and that's its lighting. There are 2 torches you can light from outside the arena that will illuminate the boss fight and make it significantly easier. If you don't, then not only will the fight be much darker, but your lock-on will disengage after she does a jumping attack, which can easily confuse the player and get them killed. And this is Dark Souls 2, mind you, where the lock-on actually works. Otherwise, it's a solid fight of a pretty standard moveset and generous health pool. I like this one. The Executioner's Chariot is one of the most unique bosses in the series. This arena is a circular, narrow pathway filled with hostile skeletons and sorcerers, all with a chariot himself circling the arena for huge damage if landed. The goal is to run to the other side of the arena while avoiding the skeletons and sorcerers and taking cover in the little alcoves on the side when the chariot makes his pass. Eventually there's a gate at the end, and bringing it down will cause the chariot to crash and enter the second stage of the fight. From there, it's a pretty straightforward beast boss fight. Avoid the charge attacks and kicks and pick away at him until it's over. The horse is pretty slow and not all that threatening, so it's a little disappointing that the second stage of the fight is so conventional after the more interesting first stage. Another unique fight like the Executioner's Chariot, and although it's definitely less imaginative than the Chariot, it is much more successful mechanically. The Skeleton Lords is a massive wave of individually weak enemies but potentially deadly together, so the goal is to circle the huge arena and pick off a couple skeletons at a time while trying not to get overwhelmed. The problem is that the damage they dish out, even within a large group, is so low that it encourages greedy and sloppy play. It becomes far too easy to just storm through all of the incoming blows and take out huge groups with generous time to run away and heal afterwards. It's something that Dark Souls generally discourages. It's supposed to be about patience and timing. If you ignore this aspect of the fight, however, it's still pretty fun, and the boss theme is great. Basically, the pinwheel of Dark Souls 2, the Covetous Demon, is the joke boss in Dark Souls 2. All he really does is lazily flop around and has maybe the largest attack windows of any enemy in the game. The design is interesting. A boss with limited movement could have been made unique by using the arena to limit the player's movement, maybe by having the arena shift periodically to reveal poison traps or something, but the end result is, well, yeah. Not much to say about this one. The area boss of Earthen Peak, Mytha, has an X factor that can make her one of the most difficult bosses in the series if not discovered first. If you go straight into the boss fight, then the arena will be filled with poison, which will not only constantly deplete your own health, but heal her, making the fight seem stupidly unfair and poorly designed. However, if you discover that by setting fire to this metal windmill, then it will shut off the poison production in the area and make the boss much more straightforward. After doing this, it's kind of just like fighting a regular enemy. The design is unique and eye-catching, but the fight is one of the most straightforward in the game of avoiding the same 3 spear attacks and countering. She is very passive, doesn't follow up attacks quickly, and has one of the most pathetic health bars of any boss in the series, all with a frustratingly limited moveset. They had one good idea, but it seems like they just left it at that and didn't bother developing the fight any further beyond the basic formatting difference. The mid-game of Dark Souls 2 is a bit of a slump when it comes to bosses. Huntsman's Copse and the Gutter are some of my favorite levels, but many of the bosses are definitely lacking in the mid-game. Royal Rat Vanguard compounds this even further. It is literally a room full of rats. The least threatening enemy in the game. All the fight consists of is killing time, waiting for the real boss to show up, and then he dies in 5 hits. Yeah. Once again, I give it points for uniqueness, but I can't believe this even made it into the game. The only good thing I can say about it is that it's easy. If you are going to have a badly designed boss, at least don't make it annoying. The final boss of the giant hole in the ground from Majula, the Rotten, is a fantastic boss thematically. The big hole in the ground leads to the Gutter, essentially a trash pit where all of the junk of Drangleic is thrown. The Rotten represents this perfectly. The way they use 2 heads as eyes is very distinctive. Mechanically it's not amazing, but it's certainly one of the better ones in the main game. He's got the usual fare of swiping as well as AoE and poison spit attacks. What does make the fight a little unique is the arena, in that there are these fire pits around the boss. It's supposed to be similar to
that was
the
the first time I've ever seen his eyes.
But because these fire pits are stationary, they end up being mostly ineffective and only an occasional issue. Mostly, it's the visual design and the build-up that make this boss engaging instead of the mechanics. Looks a little familiar, right? Skin-deep comparisons aside, this fight has its own twist on the spatial challenge of Quelaag. Instead of lava covering the arena, Najka can instead go underneath the sand and spring up for a surprise attack. Your only refuge is the few stone spots in the arena which will block her from attacking. So yes, it's basically Tremors. The ideas in this fight I would put on par with Quelaag, but the execution is not nearly as sound. Quelaag was smartly positioned in the early game to be a pretty significant challenge, but Najka can be fought pretty close to the end of the game if you do the Shaded Woods last. She just doesn't have enough health, plain and simple. Her attacks are a little tricky with some delayed timings and windups, but none of that matters with healing windows as large as this and a health bar as puny as this. Najka is unfortunately guilty of missed potential. There's a very good core mechanic that could have been expanded into a more interesting fight, but like so many of this game's bosses, the ideas end up being stronger than the execution. Hey kids, did you like the Capra Demon? That's right, we'll step up and meet our new and improved version, the Royal Rat Authority. If you thought 2 dogs was fun, how about 4? And this time they're toxic too. Dying from an overpowered status effect sure is a hoot, right? This boss is a mess. If it weren't for the thankfully generous arena, this could have been the worst boss in the series. Dogs have always been an unsatisfying enemy to fight in this series because they have no telegraph for their attacks. They can just jump with no warning and with deceptive range, and giving them the ability to inflict toxic is a step too far. Like the Capra Demon, the beginning of this fight is a crapshoot of trying to survive the bullshit dogs, all with the actual boss causing trouble as well. Even trying to run to the other side of the arena and using a bow doesn't really work because they all aggro together. Once the dogs are dead, the fight is just a standard version of a beast boss fight. Stay on one of his sides and pick away at his ankles. That's it. He doesn't even have any rear attacks, so even after dealing with the annoying dogs, the fight isn't even interesting afterwards. Total Garbo trash represents the absolute worst of Dark Souls 2. To me, this fight is like the Royal Rat Vanguard if done properly. It's a group of smaller enemies and the actual boss surrounded and protected by them, but this time they aren't all the same enemy with the same attacks. The Prowling Magus is a spellcaster and is surrounded by 2 others as well as the horde of zombies with melee attacks. The Prowling Magus has an AoE as well as ranged attacks, which means that trying to ignore him at any range is very risky. Circling around and killing the weaker zombies while avoiding ranged attacks is the real challenge of this fight. This would be a really good little boss if it wasn't for the low enemy health. It's a shame how easy many of the mid-game bosses become after upgrading your weapon to a decent level. It's the opposite problem of the first game, where the first half of the game is balanced perfectly because it has to be done in a mostly linear order, but then the second half becomes way too easy when all 4 major bosses can be done in any order. Here, the first half of the game becomes way too easy, and then it gets harder later on. The design is solid, however, and that mostly makes up for the poor structuring. The Duke's Dear Freya is another fantastic fight visually and thematically, but kind of bland and mediocre mechanically. The arena, The bottom of a massive cascading spiderweb is beautiful, and the two-headed design of the spider is grotesque and unusual. The fight itself mostly consists of running back and forth between the two heads to score damage, and avoiding the smaller spiders around the arena. Unlike the Royal Rat Authority, these minor enemies are so weak and ineffective that they are barely even worth mentioning, so they aren't a major annoyance. The Freya itself is the real concern, whose attacks are unpredictable and extremely damaging. Its forward thrust has deceptive timing and wide range, and it can even shoot a laser, just with very generous telegraphing and windup. But none of this can be feared from a boss as passive as this. Huge damage and costly mistakes are part of the Dark Souls formula, but it only works if follow-up attacks make healing a risky proposition. The Freya is content to sit around and wait patiently, only doing an attack when it can be asked. It's this severe lack of aggression that ends up being the Achilles heel for so many of the mid-game Dark Souls 2 bosses. The healing animation is the slowest in the series, but when the bosses let you get away with it time after time, it doesn't even matter. I normally save the Iron Keep for last because of one boss. The Smelter Demon is one of the hardest bosses in the main game of Dark Souls 2. The reasons that make him such vary from fair and well considered to absolutely broken. The good thing that makes this fight challenging is his windups and telegraphs for attacks. They are varied and confusing. Sometimes he will delay his attack for just a second, and other times he will attack within a few frames of the windup. It's extremely challenging until you learn the tells, and it makes it feel unpredictable and satisfying to learn compared to most of the other bosses. Then there's the thing I'm kind of in the middle on. When he reaches his second stage, he'll start doing an aura of fire damage. This means that no shield, no dodging will help you. You will constantly be taking damage when in melee range, so if you aren't a sorcerer, it's going to be a considerable amount of non-avoidable damage. If this was Dark Souls 1, this would be unforgivable because you have a fixed amount of healing. Since this is Dark Souls 2 and life gems are a thing, it's more forgivable but still annoying. And then there's the bad part of this fight. While the varying speed of attacks make him a fair challenge, the hitboxes certainly don't. The Smelter Demon has some of the most broken hitboxes in the game. I say broken and not unfair because sometimes they will work and sometimes this will happen. It's inconsistent and incredibly frustrating, and it drags this boss down more than it should. Inconsistent damage does not gel well with constant unavoidable damage either, so there is a lot of damage that is just going to happen in this fight. Despite that, the design is so superb when it comes to the moveset that I still enjoy it more than most in the main game. Wow, this boss looks scary. Unfortunately, despite the threatening appearance, this boss is a joke. His attacks consist of very slow slamming attacks and fire breath. He leaves himself open for absolutely forever after attacks and has a shockingly low amount of health for what is supposed to be a fallen king made a god out of the iron of his kingdom. Thankfully, this is the last mediocre mid-game boss we'll be discussing as we now begin entering the end game. Okay, that's not entirely true. Yeah, it's a rehash of an earlier boss, but at least it's a little different. It's not simply two Dragon Riders, but one is an archer, and the other is the normal Dragon Rider fought earlier in the game. You can keep both in view and dodge the arrows like a standard duel against multiples, or bait the melee rider into breaking the platform for the archer, bringing them both down to your level. It's not difficult or hugely impressive, but it's a decent fight. The first truly great boss in Dark Souls 2 is the Looking Glass Knight. The arena for this boss is suitably dramatic, taking place during a lightning storm, and the knight will incorporate the inclement weather into his attacks. Otherwise, he has a pretty standard moveset of short combos and jump attacks, except for one attack that makes him completely unique among Dark Souls bosses to this point. When he reaches half health, he'll drop his shield to the ground and summon a real player if they left their summon sign around the area, or a hostile NPC. The challenge varies enormously depending on how good the player summoned is, or if the NPC gets summoned. The NPC is much easier because they can very easily be stun-locked to death. I was not able to get an actual player summoned on this playthrough, but I have in the past, and it confirmed the huge variance in enjoyment for this fight. Originally, he summoned, no joke, Dark Sniper Assassin Wolf Ninja 42069 or something like that, and I'm pretty sure they were hacking because they ran to a corner of the arena and spammed unlimited Fire Tempest and Fire Snake, and the knight summoned them 3 times in a row. The second stage of the fight can be significantly difficult depending on who gets summoned, but the knight seems to become less aggressive and rely on heavily telegraphed range attacks to make it a little more fair. So my first experience was not the greatest, but on subsequent playthroughs, I do consider this one of the best in the main game. Another really unique boss visually that is pretty standard and mediocre mechanically. The visual design of this thing is great. It's like a giant frog with distinctly human-like face and arms. Its body is completely resistant to damage, and it has an eyelid type thing that can cover his entire face to protect it from damage. Despite the memorable visual design, mechanically, all the fight really consists of is waiting for it to open and then do a swiping attack and counter. It does have one extremely dangerous ranged attack, but it doesn't do it very often, and it's not aggressive enough with follow-up attacks to be much of an issue. This would be a pretty awful fight if it wasn't for the unique visual design, and that does its best to carry it. The Royal Protector of Vendrick takes the crown for the best boss fight in the main game in my opinion. This fight has so much going for it. The palpable atmosphere of fighting deep into the pitch black royal crypts, the amazing sound design, both the fantastic score, the distinct sound of Velstat's bell smashing against the ground, and the design of the fight itself, which is one of the strongest in the series so far. My only gripe is that I wish he had more health, or maybe a more exciting second stage that could prolong the fight and make it more challenging to endurance. As it stands, he hits hard but slow, and his attacks are very generously telegraphed. It's like fighting a boss version of Havel without being able to parry. Velstat has a good variety of attacks, from the usual sweeps and thrusts to dark magic in his second phase. Most of these are pretty straightforward, but he has one attack that is a serious threat and very easy to underestimate. This attack, where he can both jump backwards and score a hit in a couple of frames, is near impossible to dodge without knowing it's coming, and can easily knock off a good chunk of health. Some people don't like this fight as much because his attacks are very slow, but I think that works in this boss's favor. The amount of damage Velstat can dish out in a single hit is massive. Every swing of the hammer is a potential death in a more direct and threatening way than most bosses in the game. I just wish he had a larger health pool to challenge endurance more directly. The longer the fight would go on, the more tense it would get as the player understands how costly a single screw up can be. Fantastic. Best boss of the main game. The Guardian Dragon has the setup to be one of the best bosses in the game. He's the area boss of one of the best areas in Dark Souls 2, Aldia's Keep. His arena is uncharacteristically gorgeous, with light filtering through the bars of a giant cage, and he's comparable in size to Calamite. But despite the stellar presentation, this is one of the weaker dragon fights in the series, and one of the weaker fights in Dark Souls 2, period. Mechanically, he is ridiculously limited with only a couple of ground attacks, a stomp, and a very ineffective swipe. The rest of this fight is a laborious waste of time as he hops up to the bars to spit easily avoidable fireballs or fire breath at you. It's boring and isn't challenging in the least. Even though they nailed the look of this boss, the boss theme is shockingly bad. This is as exciting as it gets. The music is generally great for bosses, but this is just so rushed and so flat. I don't know how this fight ended up going this wrong besides either laziness or lack of time, but it's a real shame that this ended up wasting so much potential. There is only 2 bosses in the whole series that I could not be bothered to get the kill for in this video. This is one of them. I got this footage, but that's all I got, and there is no way in hell I'm about to run the bullshit gauntlet of Dragon Shrine for the 40th time just to get to this boss. This boss is terrible. Thankfully it's optional, but that is no excuse for the worst designed dragon boss in the series, and one of the worst boss fights thus far. The Ancient Dragon is the first dragon in the series to be truly intimidating in size. Calamite and the Guardian Dragon were about on Sif's scale for comparison. They were big for sure, but they never gave off the impression of an ancient and powerful creature like the Ancient Dragon does. It looks so intimidating and so suitably ancient. It's also the first dragon boss in the series not tethered to the ground or a cage like Calamite and the Guardian Dragon were. This boss is free to fly around and do whatever freeform powerful attacks a dragon can do, except he doesn't do any of that. All this boss does is very, very lazily slow stomp attacks, fire breath, or hover above the ground and spray fire underneath him, and that's it. It's one of the most limited boss movesets of the series. I'm not even joking when I say that many of the regular enemies have more moves than this main boss does. Making matters even worse, every one of his attacks does enough damage to kill a high-level player in 1 or 2 hits. The stomps and flame breath are very easy to avoid, so no problem there, but the hovering flame attack has so much range that unless you start running the exact second he's about to leave the ground, you are going to take damage from it. The dragon loves to spam this move over and over again too, which drags the fight out way longer than it should. On top of all of this, he has the biggest health bar of any boss in the game. This boss is a combination of all of the worst elements possible that synchronize terribly and make this the most tedious and frustrating boss in the entire series to this point. Spending a good 7 minutes hacking away at his ankles only to die from 1 hit from the flying flame attack, and then having to run all the way back through this bullshit gauntlet of overpowered enemies blocking the way, and then starting all over is nothing but a chore and a huge missed opportunity. With the Ancient Dragon, they finally have a base to design the perfect dragon fight around, the perfect size and the perfect health bar to really demonstrate the futility of fighting such an ancient and powerful thing, but they absolutely ruined this fight with a horribly limited moveset, ambiguous attacks, and one of the worst boss runs in the series so far. For shame. This boss is absolutely excellent, so that's why it's so confusing that they chose to make it an optional boss locked behind a covenant and a bunch of awkwardly balanced PvP style fights against NPCs. This is the best multi-boss fight in the series so far from a mechanical perspective. The first stage is against a single Dark Lurker, allowing you to learn his very unpredictable but devastating attacks. His magic attacks are insanely damaging and can easily stunlock a high-level character to death, and his melee strikes are not only telegraphed very unnaturally, but do massive amounts of damage if landed. Once he splits into 2 is when the fight really begins though. Instead of 2 very different bosses or 3 of the same boss with a fairly limited moveset, this is the first time fighting 2 versions of the same boss with a complicated and varied moveset. Both of the Dark Lurkers will alternate between magic and melee attacks during the fight. This easily has the potential to become annoying and unbalanced with 2 very powerful and threatening bosses crossing over attacks in a confined area. What makes this work is the very slow and deliberate telegraphing of the magic attacks and a huge enemy health bar. The balance is just perfect. It's an intense challenge, but a totally fair and thrilling one. The huge damage of attacks means that mistakes are costly but avoidable with enough situational awareness and skill. I only have one negative thing to say, and it's this damn rock towards the entrance in the arena that I always get stuck on. This loathsome little thing is responsible for so many deaths. I could take a shower in the amount of human effigies it took to take this boss down on my first playthrough. But that is a minor, very personal gripe, and I don't count it against this boss. Easily the best multi-boss fight in the series, and one of the best period. The Giant Lord is basically just the last giant with a sword. I don't have a lot to say about him other than it takes place in the endgame Giants memories, which are way more interesting than this boss is. Dark Souls 2 has a different approach for its Fallen King. I'm split on this one. The reveal of Vendrick as a hollow shell endlessly circling the black tomb of his own making is striking and even more tragic than Gwyn, but then there's the actual fight itself. It's just bad. I get it, they wanted to make him seem like someone so broken that all he does is lazily slash his sword around, but it doesn't have the complexity of Gwyn. Gwyn was clearly fallen and a shadow of his former self, but that former self was still there. He could still fight, it was just painfully evident how much his fighting had regressed. Vendrick's moveset might not have been so bad if they put in some extra effort. Maybe he will fall over, similar to the Iron Golem after a couple hits, and then uncaringly flail his sword around while laying on the ground or something. Or they could have just made him weaker, because for some reason they decided to give him the most ridiculous health bar of any boss in the game. Vendrick's health bar is tied to giant souls that can be found in the Giant's memories or from the Ancient Dragon. The more souls you have during the fight, the less health he has. If you try and fight him with no giant souls, then you'd better have about 50 repair powders with you because it's going to take a while. I love what they did with the presentation in this fight, even if it is retreading old ideas, but it's a shame they didn't put more effort into making the actual fight reinforce that presentation. The first DLC boss for Crown of the Sunken King is a great one. Alana is another really good multi-boss fight that has some interesting twists on the formula. Like Dark Lurker, she alternates between magic and melee attacks in the first stage to let the player learn her moves before things get crazy. When she enters her second stage, there is a bit of RNG involved in who she can summon. It can either be a group of skeletons or Velstadt, the best boss in the main game. Velstadt is the more difficult of the two, but absolutely the more fun option. Once Velstadt is spawned, it turns this boss into one of the best multi-boss fights in the series. Their attacks are very well balanced and synchronized fairly and satisfyingly. Alana's magic attacks are telegraphed generously, and Velstadt's strikes are the same from the boss fight with him earlier. Very deliberate and beautifully telegraphed. It's a great challenge and a fun one to bait out attacks from Velstadt and whittle Alana down over time. The next few bosses are for the 3 DLCs, and Alana is an early indication as to just how much they improved over the boss design from the main game. But after saying that, I have to talk about the worst part of the DLC, which ends up not only being the worst thing about Dark Souls 2, but the entire series, Dark Souls 3 included, the atrocious co-op areas. There's one thankfully optional co-op area in each DLC that contains its own optional boss. This could have been a well-considered addition that improved an aspect of the game that hadn't been represented so far. What it ended up being is a contest to throw as many enemies as they can in a linear hallway that leads straight to the boss. Never has a boss run been so appropriately named, because look at this mess. There really is no point in fighting any of this, so that makes it all the more confusing it was conceived at all. Anyways, once you finally get past that horrible thing, the boss itself isn't any good either. It's another triple boss, but instead of being carefully designed like the Ruined Sentinels, where they can be fought individually if done fast enough, they just threw 3 already existing NPCs in a room and said fuck it. The fact that they are NPCs and not uniquely designed boss enemies is not only lazily designed visually, but a horrendous balancing decision mechanically. The hostile NPCs in Dark Souls have always been annoying to fight. They don't seem to share any of the restrictions the player does and can dance around with infinite stamina. Having to fight 3 at once is not only unfair, but feels sloppy. It's more about exploiting the AI and using the arena than countering a varied moveset. The only advantage given to the player is the arena, which they can drop down and circle around to try and split them up momentarily. And the most depressing thing is that while this fight is a shitfest, it's actually the best of the 3 co-op bosses in these DLCs. Finally the series has a great dragon boss fight. Sin the Slumbering Dragon is a near perfect dragon boss. He's got a varied and threatening moveset. On the ground, he has multiple defenses built in for abusing sides and back, both with a flaming attack reaching on either side and a tail swipe that he can even combo for huge damage. He has one of the best boss themes in the series. And in a series first, he's a dragon that actually has a fun and varied moveset in the air as well as on the ground. Diving attacks, fireballs, and huge AoE fire breath, and all of his leaping and smashing around the arena will destroy all of the scenery, really making it feel climactic and powerful in a way no other dragon boss has managed to do thus far. The only minor gripe I have with his moveset is the opening charge attack, where he just sort of moves forward immediately without any clear telegraph. It looks like he's about to swipe his head to the side, but it's hard to tell when he'll move forward so dramatically. Otherwise, the only thing that keeps this fight from being perfect is his health and his size. This is another Calamite-sized dragon with a relatively low health bar for a being such as this. Now don't get me wrong, he's still got a massive health pool, big enough to where my weapon actually almost broke and I had to fumble around in the menus mid-fight to repair it. But it still doesn't feel like something completely beyond any reasonable measure like an ancient dragon should. But that's it. Other than that, this is easily the best dragon boss in the series so far, and one of the best fights in the series period, Dark Souls 3 included. What most consider to be the most difficult boss in Dark Souls 2 is the Fume Knight, the mandatory boss of the Crown of the Old Iron King DLC. While I've never found that an appropriate mantle myself, this also is easily one of the best bosses in the whole series. When it comes to aggression and damage output in Dark Souls 2, Fume Knight is unmatched. Mistakes are costly in Dark Souls as a rule, but this boss takes that even further. He can easily kill a high-level character in just 2 hits on his second phase, and he leaves so little time for healing that baiting out attacks long enough for a heal becomes the primary concern for much of the fight. If you've got your dodging on point, then this boss is a real treat. His attacks are immaculately telegraphed and thrilling to avoid, but I think the reason most players find this boss so difficult is because of a reliance on shields. I have a feeling Fume Knight was specifically designed to punish shield-reliant players because he can easily bash through a high-level character's stamina in just a couple hits, as well as doing fire damage that can go through blocked hits. This fight is about patience above all else. His rapid, lengthy combos on phase 1 will eat through much of your stamina, and he will immediately punish greed. For the first time since Artorias, it becomes insanely risky to go for more than 1 or 2 hits at a time, and that is just so refreshing in the midst of Dark Souls 2's generally sloppy, slow bosses. His attacks in phase 1 are a mixture of immediate and super delayed to try and throw off the player's dodge timings, and his attacks in phase 2 range from absurdly fast and deadly to extremely damaging and slow ranged attacks. The reason I don't find him all that difficult personally is because this fight is absolutely fair and balanced, and that makes the Fume Knight one of the best in the game. I go back and forth between Sir Alon and a certain other boss as my favorite in Dark Souls 2. Sir Alon is the best fight in the game from a purely mechanical perspective. Fighting Sir Alon with no shield, no buffs, just 2 warriors battling it out is the most tense and exciting fight in the whole of Dark Souls 2. Fights in the series come to get increasingly more complicated and varied, but Sir Alon is the purest duel between 2 equals in the entire series. This might be a little confusing on first glance. Sir Alon's attacks are pretty straightforward. Piercing attacks, long distance sweeps, close range combos, jump attacks, and a special move where he can curse you with a protracted piercing animation. Nothing about these attacks are all that extraordinary, and yet I find this one of the most difficult fights in the series. The reason for that, and the reason that makes Sir Alon a brilliant fight, is the timings of these attacks. Most bosses in the series have a standard for attack timings. Fume Knight's combo here, for example, is the same animation every time with the same timings to memorize. Sir Alon has the same animations but can vary the timings for each attack during the fight without telegraphing a change in speed. This makes him unpredictable and requires intense study of the animations. The long distance sweep in particular is very unpredictable and challenging to avoid. It can vary between extremely fast, only a few frames of reaction time, to delayed and so slow that it can easily catch you at the end of your roll if you reflexively dodge at the beginning of the animation. And like Fume Knight before him, he can easily kill you in just 2 hits, making this really feel like a duel between 2 samurai. No protection between them, just 2 swords clashing under the rising sun. The presentation is also some of the strongest in the series. Alon's arena is the top of a tower with the sun illuminated in the background on a mirrored marble floor. And the music, ugh! Maybe my favorite boss theme in the series. This would be a perfect boss fight if it wasn't for one thing. It has the single worst boss run in the series. Oh my god, look how many knights there are. It's a lazy straight gauntlet filled with fire-spitting lizards and so many Alon Knights that they will literally clog the tight hallways until they are all dispatched. And you have to run this stupid thing every time you die, which for me is a lot. If they put a bonfire right outside this boss door, this fight would be perfect. The fight itself is so good that I can't count it against this boss too much. It's with Sir Alon and the Fume Knight that Dark Souls starts putting a very noticeable amount of effort into its bosses. Even the best fights in Dark Souls 1, Ornstein and Smal and Artorias still feel lesser compared to the polish and the challenge of Dark Souls 2's DLC. Okay, so you know how I said Sir Alon had the worst boss run in the series? I lied. The Iron Passage is unequivocally the most frustrating, lazy, and poorly designed section in the series, Dark Souls 3 included. Everything people say about Dark Souls 2, that its linear hallways of Gankfest design manifests itself in this fucking run. It is literally 3 straight hallways of enemies, some of which are normal melee enemies, some of which are archers, and some of which are unreachable sorcerers who put a fucking slow spell on you that restricts your rolling. What the fuck? It's like they're trying to be as annoying as possible. This run is indefensible straight garbage, and I have nothing nice to say about it. The excuse is that this is a co-op area and meant to be done with a party of players, but I say, what about in 10 years when the online community is dead? So what happens once you finally make it through this dreadful thing? Oh, for fuck's sakes. It's just Smelter Demon again, only he's blue, and he has even more broken hitboxes. This is the hardest fight in the game for me, not because it's challenging, but because I am convinced it is broken. So many times during this fight I would get hit and have no idea what I could have done differently. I had my agility at 96 at this point, so I wasn't dealing with the default iframes, and this shit was still happening. And every time you die, you have to run the gauntlet of enemies again. I could not take this boss. I caved and eventually committed a cardinal sin by summoning just so that I could get the footage of beating him. Are you happy now? The first boss of the Ivory King DLC is an interesting one with some unique mechanics. You can enter this fight immediately upon starting the DLC just to find an invisible tiger messing you up. It's actually to teach you to explore the area first and find an item that reveals invisible enemies, but it's kind of unique that they teach you this through death. Once Ava is revealed, it's a mostly standard beast fight just with some unique moves and twists to timings. Ava has ranged attacks, a rare thing for a beast boss, but they end up being easily avoidable and more useful as a healing window than anything really threatening. His melee attacks, however, are the complete opposite. Ava's melee attacks are some of the hardest to dodge in the game, with his trademark delay after he rears back on either his left or right paw for a sweep. It's designed perfectly to bait out a reflexive roll from the player and then catch them off guard. It's very tricky to nail down at first and does considerable damage. Ava's speed is a little surprising as well, being able to jump a good distance of the arena and spin around to attack his backside. It's a pretty challenging and well-designed boss that channels difficulty from some underutilized areas in this series so far. Okay, so you know how I said the Cave of the Dead was the worst boss run in this series, and then I said the Iron Passage was the worst? I lied again. I'm amending that for the third and the last time, I swear. I declare it once and for all that the Frigid Outskirts is the biggest piece of shit that I have ever played in my life. A cool idea is ruined spectacularly by the complete absence of bonfires and the single worst designed enemy in the entire series in the form of Electric Reindeer. Sounds cool, but it's really not. They have a charge attack that is impossible to dodge. Nope. 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 I don't think it's possible. They are also faster than you, so running is pointless, and they will relentlessly spam the unavoidable charge attack over and over again if you do attempt to fight them, making it a grueling, sloppy mess of spamming the attack button and praying to the gods that they will just die before you succumb to the onslaught of broken charge attacks. Dealing with one of them may be doable, but of course not. You have to run a marathon across a barren plain with no vision, constantly getting ambushed along the way, eventually ending with 2 of them at once. And this is all just to get to the damn boss, which turns out to be 2 Avas. So not only is the run to the boss the most challenging thing in the entire series for stupid reasons, but the boss at the end is a terrible, unbalanced reskin with attacks that do not gel together in a satisfying or fair way. This is the only boss in the entire series besides the Ancient Dragon that I did not kill for this video. This is the only footage I got. I physically cannot stand any more of this area before I start breaking things, so this is it. Call it unprofessional or whatever you want. This boss and this area can go fuck itself. I officially amend my previous statement and give Lud and Zolan the worst boss of all time award and the Frigid Outskirts the award for legally sanctioned torture. The developers should be ashamed, and I will do them a favor by pretending it does not exist for the rest of this video. This is how the Dark Souls DLCs work, because we go from the worst to the best in all of Dark Souls 2. My favorite overall boss in Dark Souls 2 and in the series to this point is the Burnt Ivory King. Sir Alon is purer in its design and isn't as sloppy, but the Burnt Ivory King has things going for it that Sir Alon doesn't. This boss has got it all. It's got the lore, it's got the challenge, and it's got the spectacle, and oh what a spectacle it is. First you get this gratifying shot of seeing all the Loist Knights you found preparing for battle, and then this perfectly timed and transitioned fall into the old chaos itself with you and your squad of knights. I'm not going to get super in-depth for the lore, but I think the Ivory King's story is important to this boss's impact. That's because the Ivory King is one of the most memorable and tragic characters in the whole series. Ilium Loist, the city the Ivory King built, is a fortress to contain the old chaos, and the portal to which resides in the throne room of the king himself, just so that he can personally watch over it and will be the first line of defense. Eventually he led a squad of knights into the old chaos and gave his own soul to quarantine the chaos in the fortress he built to protect his people and the outside world from his flames. The fight you now partake in is unabashedly epic. Gathering the fallen king's lost knights and venturing into the chaos to defeat the twisted versions of the knights and the king himself that were consumed by the chaos all that time ago. The first stage of the fight is the ultimate test of fighting groups of heavily armored soldiers that Dark Souls 2 mostly consists of. They can't be backstabbed like normal enemies and have infinite poise. By taking away two of your most useful exploits, it makes you rely totally on your allied Loist Knights and makes it an incredible challenge. The knights will gradually fall one by one, sacrificing themselves to shut off the portals that spawn charred Loist Knights until the king himself shows up in the coolest boss intro in the series so far. I just wish that the Ivory King was more challenging. What makes this fight so interesting is that right after defeating Ava, you can start this boss almost immediately afterward with only one Loist Knight. That, however, makes it one of the hardest, if not the hardest fights in the game because you'll be swarmed with enemy Charred Knights the entire fight. But the balance shifts too far in the other direction if you have gotten all of the Knights. By the end, you can still have allied Knights alive for the boss. I think this is the first fight in the entire series where you can actually outnumber the boss without summoning, and it can unfortunately make the fight too easy. I said after my first playthrough. A lot of people think this boss is really easy, and I agreed with them after I beat him first try on my first playthrough. However, on the playthrough for this video, he absolutely messed me up 5 times in a row. There seems to be a fair amount of RNG. The first time I fought him, he just repeated the fairly easily avoidable
Wow, almost passed out of stream. Holy shit.
charge attack over and over again, but this time he changed the speed of his attacks the
I
same
am
way
way too
Sir
tired for
Long
this.
does on a whim. It caught me off guard and was a struggle to adjust to. Now after fighting him on this playthrough and seeing the
Guys, I'm gonna have to call the stream here tonight. I'm just so tired of gonna keep my eyes open. But it definitely was a pleasure being with you guys tonight. Holy shit, 20 viewers? What the fuck happened? When did I get 20 viewers? Damn. Thank you all for coming to the chat.